8 o'clock, getting a little bit more preparation, going through all the numbers. Not that they were a big deal because they were September numbers this morning, a little bit delayed. But we'll be back at 2. For now, you've got Joby in full effect.
Right.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Trader TV Live. Let's get some people rolling into the chat. I hope everyone's having a fantastic morning. Regardless, gotta get this mop sorted out, that's for sure. The salad not looking too good at the top there, guys. Get a haircut this weekend. Once again, let's get some people rocking and rolling. You know who it is. It's your boy Joey O, and next to me is Obie. He is the only one. Kenobi, King of the Jedis himself, and the Stock Whisperer. Obie, how has everything been this morning?
All of these names. First time I'm hearing myself called any of these names. Thank you.
That's it. That's it. Everybody calls you the only.
I have to manifest, right?
Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Thank you. I was just saying, those are the first time I'm hearing all those names, but thank you.
The Stock Whisperer.
I definitely don't deserve any of those titles. Please, please refrain from giving me more credit than credit is due.
Hey, man, that's what we do around here. We got to big each other up.
How was your morning?
It was good. It was good. It was good. We're gonna get into that. Actually, it was all right. We'll call it all right. We're not gonna call it fantastic or anything. We're gonna do a little roll call, Obie, and then we'll most definitely get into some of the trades. Lock in, says Fern. Why are we at the ads again? All right. Christoph Ocean, what's up, my friend? Oker, what's up? Is that the Cardi B thing? Justin Fan Stock. Plug, $ plug. What's up, Jay, Keone, and Hypercube? Your Huckle Baby, Barry, Mike, P, DeRider. You better be locked in today, brother. Otherwise, I'm going to have some few choice words for you. Why not? That's my motto these days, just why not? Who else do we got? We got our friend Jody Mills as well, too. And we'll go a couple of more guys. Let's see who we got. G-Talk and Donkey Trader. What's up, everybody? I hope everyone's had a fantastic morning. Let's get right into it. And guys, don't forget, if you're just tuning in, I'm going to remind us throughout the day, we no longer start at 8:30. It's an 8 a.m. start. So you know how it goes. The early birds get the worm, guys, and you will be getting all of that information and data, and which is required for you to start your day. But all right, let's talk a little stocks here and see what we had on the board. Now, as for me, guys, I've taken 2 attempts on Tesla. Let's go over the losers first. And I was like, you know what? This thing is just too choppy for me. So we're long, doesn't work. We flip short. Comes back into the volume weighted average price. Essentially, I'm not wrong until the break is 1707, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just get out of there before it even hits our stop, because the chop is just something that I'm not going to be putting up with much of today. So if it's too choppy, not getting involved. Aside from that, those are our 2 losses on TSLL, and I've only traded 2 names. And here it is on SMR, doing a little due diligence last night, looking for potential bounces, especially off some key levels. SMR down 60% off of its highs. I was looking for that move higher, considering we've seen one yesterday, and a little bit of continuation with the strength. Now, is it extremely strong? Absolutely not. So take my strong hand may not be the one for today. So we go 0 for 1 on SMR, and then we're patient. So we're 0 for 1. We're at the plate. We're patient. We get a hit, we're on base here now. Okay, we're working. We get another out, we get stopped out, break even. We're still working the pitcher. We're being conservative. We're sitting on our hands, waiting for that precise entry where I can use my risk to reward ratios and try to hit a maximum trade. And that's what we got going on. So for the one that I'm currently sitting in right now, risking 15 cents, 1836 is the average, we'll call it roughly, 35 to be generous. And then sure enough, we get a move up into 80. So you're hitting a 3 or so to 1 on that one, a little bit more, 3.5. Let's see if we can get this break through the volume weighted average price. If we continue to hold up at this 1850 level, do a small liquidity grab south of the support, maybe that could be a solid add opportunity. So that's what I'm looking at on SMR. Not too bad of a grab. Once again, 1835 is just risking the low, about 15, 16 cents of risk, and sure enough, here it comes back towards the downside. Seems like sellers are in control right now, Obie. Let's see if that's going to continue to stay in play.
Yeah, man, great, solid moves there. Off of the open today, man, a couple of things. I think I did well in terms of maintaining emotions today.
Yeah.
Because when I came in, And this has happened to me multiple times since I've been on the floor, and I've gotten much better at handling it. But right before the open, just some hardware issues, some PC issues, and I just couldn't really take the open. And I was watching not too many stocks off the open. I was watching Google. Google had news last night, and then we had Apple as well pushing up into that 280s. Didn't really get involved with that 280 reversion. Kind of gives us a similar move where that unusual buyer comes in on Apple, coming in right off of the open, and then as soon as that buyer dissipates, we get a beautiful clean reversion down into VWAP. Again, I was pretty tilted that I didn't get a chance to participate in that move, but it's okay. I stepped back. I'm like, all right. Went and grabbed a coffee. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not trading the open today. Waited around for this VWAP test. Tried to take a continuation. Kept it tight and basically chopped around here. But I did well, kind of getting involved. You were sitting right beside me when I was taking these. And just getting as aggressive as I can as it worked. Just taking those scalps off, flipping long because there's enough reasons to buy down here on the wick shimmy dance of that 278. Basically a failure to follow through, where sellers slam in through the level and it doesn't go more than 40 pennies past that. I'm flipping long right away because I'm like, all right, well, that should have gone technically. And if we're going to chop around and consolidate more, I definitely want to just take some into the top of the range, flip long, and then flip short at the top of the range there for a nice reversion. But here's the thing. Apple's just been ranging sideways in this $1 or $2 area while the market just still is trading within its opening range as well. So nothing too crazy other than that on my part. But guess what, man? There are a couple of stocks that I did have on watch, and I took my eyes off of them because, again, technical issues off of the open, not really paying that much attention. But take a look at these two earning names that are doing extremely well today. ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. Look at this, straight line up, distinctly different from that of the market. It has earnings today. Opening range high break. You see that? Opening range high break.
Oh, that's really nice.
Does not look back at all. It also confluences with $80 on earnings day one. It's doing relative volume. So $80 breakout on ANF gave you almost $5 without even looking back. So I'm watching this consolidation, bit of a mistrade on my part. And something else I want to point out here is we don't really like to use anchored VWAPs. Shout out to Mr. Brian Shannon. Right there. Look at that hold of anchored VWAP. Sure, you can say that's VWAP as well because it was a pre-market session earnings report. But you can see how price sustained those volume weighted average prices and then continued through the highs for a push even more. So, and then another name here was KSS. Kohl's Corporation also with an earnings report today. Look at that beautiful action here, holding its opening range highs and then pushing and continuing even higher. My question is, why am I really trading anything else? Why am I spending so much mental when there are easy money earnings day one trades that they're giving us opening range holds and breakouts on the day today? Bit of a miss on my part. But where's the next trade? Let me know in the chat. Did you guys trade Kohl's? Did you guys go for some shopping there? Did you guys go to ANF instead? I don't know, but both of those seem like pretty decent opportunities in the retail space today. There's Google going through the day lows. I got short initially through the 320s, get stopped out, and now it's $1.50 lower at 318 halves as Google continues to break down right here. Could not get past that 330 mark and giving up some of the move off of that news from last night. So a bit of a miss on my part. The breakdown was definitely there. I had to just risk maybe to structure highs 322s. And this right now is a 1-to-1 because it gave you $2 down if you were risking appropriately to the prior structure, $2 above. So there's that Google. Unfortunately not involved, but where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking here. A couple other names that I had on watch, Joe, was Alibaba and Broadcom, both of which who are also breaking their day lows right now. So interesting stuff. Let me know in the chat. What are you guys involved with?
Yeah, most definitely, guys. So I added a little bit here. Nothing big, just 5%, just so you guys can see from a position standpoint. We only got 10 cents left. If it comes back to my break even, then we'll hop out of that one. Can't complain, really. We're off of those lows, 15, 16 cents. You pop up into 85s. That was my primary target, but at that point, I'm like, ooh, okay, that seems relatively strong. Volume picking up on the lower time frames as well, too. So I'm like, let's hold on to a little bit more. So right now, I'm currently sitting on about 55% 50% of the remaining position. If it gets stopped out, then so be it. We'll be all right with that. But yeah, the market is a little choppy today, guys. We can take a look at some of the other names. Los Polios, I seen you in the chat. Nice grab on the Google shorts, my friend. And this is what I was looking at here earlier in the pre-market. So once again, just I think with the overall sentiment, these neckline breaks are in play, most definitely. So we've seen it on Google in the pre-market. You crack lower, and then you come back and retest. You don't even get that high back to 330, and then you sell down about 13 points from that specific level. And there goes Tesla. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to work. It never broke through the high, so should have stuck to the guns. But that shoulda, coulda, woulda. We don't want to play that stuff. And I'm okay with just sitting on the sidelines with this name specifically. So also here it is, guys, with SMR. I'm going against the grain right now just due to the fact you can see the strength within the downside price action. And then we have this massive inverted hammer candle. What is this specific 5-minute print telling us? Well, buyers push price all the way up to VWAP, and then sure enough, sellers are in control and push it right back down. So there it is on SMR. And we had the right thesis on Tesla, just didn't stick with the guns. And I mentioned that I'm okay with it. It is what it is. There's going to be plenty of opportunities. The volatility is in. Look at all these overlapping candles in the Qs. So try not to get frustrated. You got to do what Obie did. If you're just getting chopped up, stand up, take a breath, stand up. And just relax. Go touch grass, as some people, I've never heard that term until here, so go touch grass as our American friends. Have you heard that before?
Oh, of course, man.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to give it the Americans the nod on that one, saying they came up with that. So go and touch grass if you're frustrated, you want to throw something or punch something. Sometimes I get like that. And you just go relax, catch a little fresh air, and then come back to the markets and sit on your hands a little bit more and wait for that precise entry. I mean, we were talking about... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or the
in
Bob.
Canada, it's go touch snow. You see that?
Yeah. We will touch snow. I mean, to each their own, right? Some people are saying the Bob Marley grass as well too. Whatever works for you. Just come back level-headed, even though that won't necessarily be the case if you do that. Pardon?
So yeah, you just got to calm down. Sometimes.
Yeah. You just got to calm. But sometimes it's hard when you see.
What's some of the things that you do when you? Because like trading can become very emotional.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're all human. So emotions can either hinder your progress, or they can benefit it, depending on how you kind of direct those emotions. So what's your thing? Well, like for example, today, like I wasn't extremely tilted, but I was just like, I definitely missed out on $2 on Apple on a reversion trade, which is very playbook for me, and just a quick tape scalp as well. So I just got up and I just had some coffee, but I'm getting better with that as well. But pushing away from the desk.
Yeah, it's a skill. It's a skill.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
a skill.
It's something we build over time.
Yeah.
So what are some of your, I guess, playbook moves when you're kind of you're off your game?
When I get up and I just go walk around the building and I curse the trading gods while I'm at it, and then I come back hopefully a little bit more level-headed. It doesn't always work, but that's what I tend to do. Get up, grab a glass of water, just say a bunch of very, very mean things in my head, and then take a walk, get some fresh air, see the birds walking around, look at the park and everything else. Yeah. And then you know what, actually, Obie? So what I do is that when I get up, I see everybody else going by their day to day, and they're like, they have no idea what's going on here. And some people are extremely happy, some people are just going to be remain miserable. But I look at them and say, you know what, the world doesn't care really, so why should I? And then I come back in and I try to look for something and not get overly tilted. But there goes Tesla starting to break down a little bit. I trade every time thinking this money is going okay. I don't necessarily know what that means, but yeah, a lot of people say they hit the bag. So as long as you find a way that works for you to cool down and come back in, then by all means continue to do so. But Tesla starting to bleed its own blood right now, guys, heading back towards this 405 in the low of the day. I was short off of this specific candle right here, so that's starting to work out. Never breached it to the top side, so stick to your guns. Sean was talking about it earlier in the day, but I have no issues with just being a little bit more patient, because look at the triple Qs right now. This is a bloody mess if you ask me. Boom, boom, boom. A lot of overlapping candles. Oh, we're down. Oh, no, let's whip right back up. And that can be frustrating at times. So calm heads prevail at the end of the day. Hope everyone's having a fantastic one, because we're going to continue to snipe. We put on 2 nice trades on SMR. We missed out on Tesla. So what? There's going to be more opportunities.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think it's important to take that breather, and just talking about like resetting and walking away. It is very difficult. There's so many times, dude, I get tilted in the morning session due to some sort of tech issues.
Yeah.
And then I end up shutting down on the day. It happened to me way too many times. I'm just like, yeah, I know myself.
Sick of it.
Just very self-destructive when I get like, you know, in my head, I'm just like, all right, well, you know, forget about this. You know, you start getting into your head a lot, and I would just kind of put on blinders and just focus and tilt and just anchor to positions, anchor to ideas. It becomes so easy to just put those blinders on and, you know, become. You know, what was it? A headless chicken, pretty much, because I'm not thinking at all. I'm just like running around, getting chopped up, doing whatever. But yeah, you know over time, you learn.
When you're frustrated, even though they can't see it, you got to think about it. The big boys are just licking their lips when retail boys are just getting frustrated. Yeah, of course, they're just like, all right, keep getting more and more frustrated because the chances are they're going to take your money.
Oh, 100%. Dude. Like some of the price action, sometimes I'm just like, I look at some price action. Sometimes I'm like, this is very predatory price action, almost as if it's eliciting emotion amongst the masses, and I'm just like, all right, if that's going to happen, then I either get on the right side of that, or I walk away, or I just observe, sit on my hands until more clarity kind of comes to me. And another thing, I was talking to Jose about this yesterday as well. We went on a walk, and I had tilted a little bit on Apple from yesterday. Remember, I missed the reversion, and I kind of chopped myself up on VWAP because I was just like, damn, I missed the reversion. And I went outside for a walk, and another thing I realized is you got to catch yourself in terms of language. I said word for word, I was like, well, I'm pissed off at Apple. And I was like, wait, no, that's incorrect. That makes no sense. That right away, I know I'm working on a skewed mindset. Why should I be feeling any type of way in terms of like the market itself? No, I'm not pissed off at Apple. I'm more disappointed at myself. Yep. That's what it was. And I corrected myself. The language definitely matters to make sure you are maintaining the mental, because again, it's part of like manifesting. You have to realize that, yeah, it's not about Apple. Apple's just going to do what Apple does. It's me who's making the decisions. I am the operator. Therefore, any sort of issues directly go on me. The market at times can be very random. Do I have structures and risk management techniques in place so that they help me maintain mental when the market is being that level of random?
Yep.
Right? So it's just like, okay, realizing that over time, I think is definitely a big thing. 320 coming back here on Google. So yeah, we only got $2 lower on the day low break. So maybe those sellers are done for now, and the market consolidating up here in and around this, what is this, 24,800 mark on the day on the Nasdaq. Maybe a little bit of a curl here, maybe a reversion back to VWAP here. I'm watching it. I'm being patient. That 318 was interesting. Apple still kind of chopping around. Reasons to sell maybe up here, just shy of 280s. Reasons to buy maybe down here just below VWAP, 278s, 277s. That's what it seems like here on Apple as it just chops around, does nothing. But bigger picture, guys, let's take a look at what Apple has been doing. Because it's interesting how this action is kind of forming and panning out on the bigger picture. So let's just go straight up to an hourly chart. Take a look at this consolidation, Joe. This is a beautiful consolidation. So on earnings, we get that pop into all-time highs, 284.70s. Since then, kind of chop consolidation, maybe some strong selling. The past couple of weeks, some strong selling, right? Guess what? Apple did not care. Apple actually sustained within those consolidation lows while the rest of tech kind of sold off. And then now, with a bit of a bid, with a bit of consolidation and chop on the market, Apple's slowly kind of melting up back to the consolidation range highs. That 284, those 285s, I don't know how the options are looking on those, Joe, but those 285s, I'm definitely watching that price, that level. And again, to the downside, you saw price action ping both sides. It pinged both sellers and buyers on the earning reaction. 262s on the bottom side, and then 284.70s on the upside. So yeah, that range right there, I'm watching very closely on Apple, because bigger picture, man, going straight up to the monthly, take a look at what this thing is doing. This thing is blasting off. We are technically on Apple still breaking out of 258s. This is in breakout mode. We consolidated. We are now in momentum on the higher time frames on Apple. So if we're just chopping around sideways and consolidating, again, it's very similar to the kind of action we see on the intraday. When things consolidate in their upper quartile all day long, what is the probability of a breakout and push as the day kind of goes on and as price sustains? And especially with some either increasing or sustained volume, which we are seeing on Apple. So yeah, Apple for some fresh eyes, I think it's very poised for that 300 test on the bigger time frame. But Apple is why I've been trading Apple and Nvidia a lot more over the past couple of weeks, just looking for that potential push, reverting it every time it fails, and getting ready, really feeling it out for that day that if and when Apple really breaks out of that 280 and we start to push towards 285s, like, are we going to get distinctly different price action on the intraday? That's what I'm looking at. What do you got going on?
Man. Oklo, man. Oklo. Oh, my days. I could pull up the algo right now and see that we probably picked this bad boy up. So let's pull it over. We're going to do that momentarily, Obie, and see what we got going on with OKLO as we have some beautiful indecision prints off of these lows. Riot and NUE, yeah, we're going to take a look at those. But first and foremost, guys, let's get into the top performing sectors of today. And the healthcare is going to be leading the way, up 1.9%. Consumer discretionary sitting in that second spot, guys, up approximately 1.4% as well. And materials sitting in that show money, 1.33%. For those who are familiar with the ponies, we got that win, place, and show. And it is not a boxed triactor. Do you know what a box triactor is?
Box triactor?
Yeah. It's like, it's as long as they come in first, second, or third, it doesn't matter what the order if it's a boxed thing. Sure. So yeah, that's how they have fun. All right, aside from that, guys, the bottom three, we got the utilities down about 30%, closer to 4/10. And then we have the energy sector down 0.5%. And you can see the technology sector down approximately 0.75%. Now, as for earnings, guys, don't forget to go and check Adara, because she's going to be posting that in the expected moves today after the bell. We have Dell, CleanSpark, WORKDAY, Zscaler, and Autodesk. I think those are some of the bigger names as well, too, with John Deere Wednesday before the open. I have no idea. What's this company right here? I have no idea what that is. Looks like some form of racing or something. But let's keep an eye out on those. And let's go SMR as we're slowly starting to grind higher. Man, oh man, Obie, a little bit of FOMO on this Oklo trade. I'm like, oh, so listen again, going back to just the evening due diligence, Obie, and giving myself some potential trades for the morning. I had two on the list. That's going to be SMR. Listen, last night, 9:30. What were you doing at 9:30 last night? Oh, what's up, Adara?
Yeah, I want to talk here just really quickly. You mentioned that we're going to have these expected moves on X at TTV Research, likely posted around 2:45 to 3 p.m. But I also want to let you guys know I have earnings previews for a whole bunch of these names. I've already posted the one for Dell. Zscaler is going to get posted in about half an hour. And I want to mention, too, even John Deere tomorrow morning, we're getting an earnings infographic preview. I'm going to tease out that release throughout the day. So if you like fun infographics and lots of information, X at TTV Research, your one-stop stop.
All right, beautiful. Thank you for that. All right, guys, let's pull up. Hold on. Where is this? Hold on. All right, let's get right into this, guys, and see what we got going on. Obie with OKLO. We're going to get this thing working. I'll pull it up to you, see if it's real time, and it picks up exactly what we want. I told you we've been working on this for quite some time. Seems to be ready. Bang! Oh, my days. Look, I didn't even have to say anything. There it is, the exact print in which we are looking for, identified to the penny, Obie, and that's exactly what we want to see, a nice trade right there on the Ogo. How's the performance been on this overall? Absolutely horrendous. That's not exactly what we want to see from October to 25, but a lot of it can be justified just due to how we've been trading from a daily perspective, up here to 192, all the way down to $82. That's a 57% haircut. I told you if these underlyings are down around 15, 20%, you got to shut that bad boy off and wait for something else to come into play. But other than that, let's go SMR. This is going to be a slow grind. NVDA starting to recover on the day, and this is what it was, guys. A lot of choppy price action, but what can we see displayed in each 5-minute print? At the volume-weighted average price, buying pressure, buying pressure, buying pressure, and you guessed that, a little bit more buying pressure in the volume profile starting to accelerate as well, too, guys, on that 5-minute interval.
Hey man, I'm watching Apple here as we trade below this VWAP. So we attempted a push of range highs, 279 halves. Now we're pulling back into this area where I'm like, all right, cool. Right off of the open, there was definitely some demand, and every time we've come down into these areas, 278s and some change, we've gotten a bit of a bid. But the market's still kind of consolidating sideways, so I'm just watching this range low here on Apple as we come into 278s. What's going to happen? I also have eyes on the Mag 7 here, and just taking a zoom out here on Apple, take a look at this. This is the consolidation range low. So if this low is given up, I think we got a little bit of room here, or at least to finding some sort of acceptance in and around 277s and 276s, maybe for a relatively lower low compared to the consolidation low here on Apple. You see the ES is a little bit stronger, I think, than the Nasdaq, and interestingly enough, the Nasdaq is pushing up within its consolidation highs, and not Amazon, Nvidia is about to push its day highs here as well. So Nvidia, look at that, nice V-shaped recovery, almost 100% reversion back into that 175 area. 175's great place to sell apparently off of the open. We were doing relative volume in the pre-market session as well, trading much below prior day's lows in the pre-market session already. So maybe those of you who are astute, kind of getting involved on this double top. Look at that, resistance, resistance, support from yesterday. I like that when a support level of recent turns into a resistance level on the day, and then we get that continuation. We're seeing structure breakdown. Look at those pre-market lows get taken out at 173.60s right off of the open. But guess what? We are coming right back. And beautifully enough, Joe, I know you like those hammer candles. Take a look at this hammer right here with the largest volume. That is capitulation in my books right there. Sideways
what time frame was that?
This is a 3-minute chart. That's 10:03. That's the 10:03 candle. That hammer coming in and just nailing it to the upside all the way back down, all the way back up to 175s here. So the question now becomes, there was supply here in the morning. Will it come back again? We've already kind of capitulated or kind of exhausted on the day. High volume node right there, and a push back up with a break of trend and reclaim of VWAP as well. You can see that 173 breakout was probably the area to get nice and aggressive here on Nvidia, and that's pushing up even higher now. So maybe potential for this market to turn and push back up towards 25,000 on the Nasdaq. So that's what I'm watching here as of right now. When it comes to these other Mag 7s, nothing too crazy going on. Apple's coming back down to that 278. So that's a little more interesting to me, as that is more of a structure break with a lot of room to the downside to kind of to travel and discover maybe some price acceptance a little bit lower there. So Tesla not doing too much, kind of consolidating. VWAP sellers have been dominant pretty much in the morning session. As we come into the midday session, VWAP's getting chopped up a little bit more, maybe balancing out some of that action from the morning session here. Google, we're watching Google. That day low break was nice. We got that rebid there. 317.66 is okay, so we did travel a little bit lower than 318s on the day low break. But that was nice. I like this kind of push. Sellers dominant right off of the open, and then once again coming in on the break of this beautiful uptrend, which confluences with the opening range low. You can see the sellers start to accelerate, increase volume bars on the break of trend as we travel below VWAP, as we travel below the opening range highs, as we fail to follow through those opening range highs, and more of the same here. And again, how extended was this off of yesterday's close? Pretty aggressive. That's almost a 5% push coming into the open. And coming into the open specifically, we were up about 3% on a name like Google, which has been showing some decent strength over the past couple of days. You can see here, nice little trend break gives us the move all the way into the pre-market session as well. That bid carried forward throughout multiple sessions here. So I'm watching this right now. This should be interesting. If we can come back up into VWAP, maybe I'm looking for more sellers there. But honestly, I'm looking for the next trade. Here comes Nvidia with some crazy strength pushing back up into day highs. So yeah, it seems like that is a decent reversion, 100% reversion this is going for. Okay, see some arbitrary support and resistance from before. Not really, I guess, important on the day. That's what I'm trying to say. Not really important from the day. Prior support and resistances, which I don't know where they're from. I think the only support and resistance that really mattered here on Nvidia would be prior day high, even prior week low, sorry, prior day low and prior week low as well. Both of those are getting a little chopped up. But the question becomes, Joe, are we false breaking the prior week low?
I thought it was going to be where's the next trade. I thought, because that's typically where you tend to go. Is
yeah, I'm constantly asking that question, especially if I'm not in a trade. But yeah, no, I'm looking for the next move. Maybe through the opening range high here on 75 on Nvidia. That chain's probably looking nice as well. But again, Friday might be a little bit more interesting to see whether we're over under that 175. 180 was interesting yesterday as well. Remember we were talking about that 180?
Yeah, 180 was a good level
yesterday. And we're trading well below that 180 on the day today. So 169.56 is day lows on Nvidia, but yeah, don't really see anything else too crazy. Yes, I know you guys were talking about small caps, and yesterday, funny enough, during the midday, I was like, where is the next reversion? I was looking for the reversion, and then later on in the day, I get this. INHD. I don't know if you saw this one. This was the reversion.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
This was a reversion to be part of. So all of those who are astute small cap traders here, this was the most beautiful reversion in the market, in my opinion, yesterday. There was no better reversion. If you see a better reversion, please let me know, because I would love to know. But yeah, 3-hour fade. Look at this morning run up, and as soon as that buyer is kind of done, sure, you get a little chopped up here, 260s. You get a dollar wipe up here on the halt ups. But when that general trend starts to break, getting involved on the $3, on the 260s, some of these halt reference prices, like best believe people are punching into the halt close here at 275s. Best believe people are punching into the halt close here at 250s. Once price travels back below, all of those participants, regardless of whatever reason they're buying, squeeze, need to cover, whatever. This is a name. This is a repeat offender. This thing moves like this very, very often, and you need to look no further than just a daily chart to see this behavior kind of pan out on this stock over and over again. Take a look at this, Joe. Boom, boom, boom. Multi-day fader on this one. It seems like more of the same all-time lows here on INHD. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything left over today, but yesterday, definitely one of the best, if not the best, reversion on the market happened on a small cap. INHD wasn't really part of it, but you know, it is what it is.
Unity, and we're going to Adara, guys. I started piecing some out on SMR. Adara, what do you got for us? Is it on?
I just wasn't logged in.
I have our crypto segment. I'm actually going to start with a pretty interesting piece of data coming out here from Galaxy Digital. According to their head of research, it shows that crypto venture funding during Q3 2025 is actually at the second highest level since FTX collapsed. So again, we got $4.65 billion worth of crypto venture funding in Q3 2025. This is actually a 290% jump on a sequential basis. So that's compared to Q2 2025. Now, what's interesting here is this was very deeply concentrated. Apparently, out of 414 venture deals this quarter, only 7 of these deals actually accounted for half of all the money invested in Q3. So lots of crypto venture spending, even though, again, you know, basically since the end of Q3, we've had a little bit of a downturn in crypto. And let's talk here about BTC, because BTC is continuing to attempt its curl. We had 2 straight positive days, Sunday and Monday on Bitcoin. Today a little bit red, but again, that area just around 89,000 continuing to show up as some support and resistance. Right now, our high of day on Bitcoin was around 88.5, so let's see if we can reclaim the 89K area, continuing to prove to be an area of excitement for BTC. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and stay tuned here before we send you back to Obie. And Joe, make sure to check out AIML. Your heart will beat 100,000 times today. But each beat is a data point. AIML Innovations trading on the CSE's AIML and the OTCQB as AIMLF, they turn that data into potentially life-saving insights with max yield. Now, max yield is an AI engine that filters noise, labels each heartbeat with lab-grade precision, and shrinks ECG analysis from days down to minutes. Their mission is to revolutionize how heart disease is detected, monitored, and prevented. Learn more at AIML_health and follow at AIML_Innova on X. Back to you.
For that, Adair. All right, guys, here we go on SMR, starting to piece them out. After that reload, Katina Man's at the gym, so sure enough, we get that move, still holding on to the bulk of this position here. We get that little add, and you can see that my average stepped up a couple of pennies. So there it goes, now up into 65. Where's going to be that next target? 1870s. And Oklo continuing to grind higher on this one, guys. So a beautiful print off of these lows. Keep an eye on your volume profile over here at 82 with that volume print that is the largest that we experienced since 10:20 this morning. So only about a half an hour or so in between prints, but that's okay. We still like this considering this gives us a lot of conviction. And sure enough, we're heading right into towards the volume weighted average price. Okay, Pac Rick. Yeah, I mean, we've been looking at Qs and TSL. We'll take a look at that right now for you. I don't love them. There's nothing really going on. RGTI, in which we were trading yesterday, relatively choppy as well. But there's the recovery on Tesla. Glad that we got out of this when we were short at the break of this candle, right at the volume weighted average price. Heads a little bit lower, but now we're steady grinding higher. And I guess this is what a lot of individuals want to see. Leading the way is NVDA. But also, let's take a look at Meta, guys, because that name was on a spree this morning in the pre and in the post market, or flat in the post, but a nice move in the pre-market from 610 all the way up to 630. This is starting to become a nice recovery, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Formed somewhat of a base here, and then now you're starting to get that pullback, so just slowly chipping away at some of the losses it's experienced over the past little while. It's still down 20% when we have the likes of Google hovering around its all-time highs off of the previous pivot high. I guess we have to go from this February level. You're up substantially right now, 55%. That's a big-time move. And the same with the likes of Apple, guys. Nice moves over here from that previous December high. You're up 10%, so not too bad, but what discounts you're getting in both of those names off of those April lows. SMR is it's a little tricky to navigate, lots of choppy. I find that's what typically these NYSE stocks do for some time, and then they'll pick a direction. But a lot of overlapping candles on the 5-minute, not the best. And sure enough, you can see that strength to the downside. So if it starts to flush and the volume picks up once again, we'll just get out of that trade. Break even, no worries about that. But you can see 2080 all the way down to 1857. You're down 11% alone on the session, which isn't very good. And then if you want to go from these highs, oh man, what an absolute complete disaster. Down 70%. Which is insane. I mean, if you're down 50%, you need the stock to essentially double to get back to break even. Down 70% is not a very good time, but you got to have the utmost confidence in the names that you are currently buying. But let's go, steady grind. We're going to head over to a higher time frame here to eliminate some of the noise, guys. I think it's just too much on the 1 minute, considering we can see that that stock hasn't been doing too much, and we've been consolidating since 15 minutes after the open. Do something, Assassino. Do something is what we got to tell this name, my friend. But other than that, we're positioned relatively well. We have our risk to reward ratios put on. We're waiting for that VWAP touch. And if we're fortunate enough to be in the right trade at the right time, we're going to get that break of the volume weighted average price. And that's what we are waiting for.
Yo, thank you very much. I got a shout out. I'm talking to an old friend. If you guys have been around on the show, you guys hear me talk about a sniper every now and then. He is one of my first mentors when I first started trading. I didn't even know a lot of things, and he's just checking in with me. I haven't talked to him in the longest time. Shout out to him. He's traded IWM, SPY, and SPX today. I remember last I was talking to him mainly just a main futures trader. But yeah, shout out to some great trades off of the open for Sniper. It's great. I'm just remembering some reminiscing some good times. I remember just trading at home. I was trading small caps. I would not touch large caps with a 10-foot pole. I was like, small caps is where it's at. I was like shorting, swing shorting, kind of taking intraday scalps. I had no idea what I was doing. I still probably don't have any idea what I'm doing, but like, you know what I mean? We know a little bit more, but thankfully, I hope so. But yeah, no, I remember this specific trade. I think it was on, I still remember that Sava trade. and getting a little squeezed on that mid cap though. That was a bit of a mid cap back then, but yeah, great times there. And now apparently he's part of a prop floor as well.
Oh,
so,
really? Right on. Is he
solid? So,
where's he from? Oh, I guess you don't really got to say that. Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
So yeah, he's from Cali right there. So yeah, great stuff. Yeah, he's just sending me Snapchats of sorry, it's not Snapchats, screenshots of his trades on the day today. So good stuff there. Right. Apple. Day lows, 277.60s, not day lows, consolidation lows, sorry, correction. Yeah, no, that's what I'm watching here. Great place to short and get short up here at range highs. But like I said before, this is where demand came in. Look at where we're coming up from. Aggressive buyers off of the open and consolidation lows right now. And the market's pushing up to the highs right there, and yeah, no, you can see the Nasdaq potentially reverting into that 25,000 as well. So I'm being patient. I'm watching. Let's see if these buyers step back in. I'm not really watching anything too crazy right now. Spider though, coming into these day highs here. So Spider relatively stronger than that of the Nasdaq as of right now. So I'm just waiting. As soon as that buying pressure kind of dissipates on both the Nasdaq and the ES, I'm curious to know what happens to this range low here on Apple, man. If that is going to show me relative weakness as the market shows me some strength here, this is what I'm looking at. If and when that weakness kind of or the selling steps into the market, what happens to this range low? That's the question I'm asking. I'm trying to formulate some probabilities in my head. Just watching the price action here. Might be there, might not be. I don't know. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking. What are you guys looking at? Let me see in the chat. Let me pull up the chat here. Google wants to go. Google wants to go. Yeah, man. I'm watching Google as well. And Google wants to go where? Google's not going anywhere.
I don't really see it wanting to go anywhere.
I was looking for it to go through the day low, which it did, and then it kind of chopped right back in. 320s, it's consolidated on 320s right now. So just being patient for that to give us some direction. But right now, let's see what's going on with Adara.
Yeah, let's talk here about COIN because Coinbase Ventures just released a blog post entitled Ideas We Are Excited For in 2026. They have a section where they talk about where they're actively looking to invest, and apparently one of these areas is WorldCoin. Now, with that in mind, keep an eye on ORBS, which is a WorldCoin treasury strategy, and WorldCoin actually likes this here. ORBS pushing higher, Coinbase Ventures saying that WorldCoin is actually something they're potentially interested in investing in here. Back to you.
Perfect. Yeah, Oklo was the one. Those were the two names on my list this morning. Obie was Oklo and SMR, and this has been the better one without any form of questioning here, guys. A nice bounce off of the lows, holding that $81, and then sure enough, climbing up approximately $4 higher, 3.5. So not too bad of a look whatsoever. This is what I'm thinking on NVDA, and I know a lot of people. Actually, I don't really hope that I'm wrong, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to pull it up on some of these semi names, and that's going to be AMD and on NVDA, and then we're going to take a look at them from a daily standpoint and see what we got going on. So this is with the 24-hour. If we eliminate this, we're going to start filling some of this gap here on AMD. Buying pressure stepping in without any form of questioning. There's Palantir to the top side. Someone was mentioning that as well. But what I'm thinking here, guys, on NVDA, I'm just going to put this out there, regardless if it gets filled or not. I think in between now and the next earnings report, which is obviously not anytime soon, we might be able to head in towards the previous pivot high, and that's going to be 152. I mean, that's another $20 haircut, roughly, and we're going to be looking at a 30% pullback, which would be pretty hefty, and it's a strong name. So I could be extremely wrong on that front, but I'll pack my patience. I'll sit on my hands, sitting on some cash still. Picked up some Meta yesterday and a little bit more Robinhood, so that's been working out relatively well. I haven't seen what Robinhood's been up to on the day, and a nice rebound. We're in at 107 or something like that now, back up to 113 after loading some of the, oh, there it goes. Let's go SMR as we're starting to slowly grind higher, Obie. This is what we are looking for, just sitting on our hands. Reducing size so I have the ability to not just be like my heart going 100 miles a minute, and then sure enough, bang, we'll take a little off right there on SMR. So I could just sit comfortably, wait for those targets to come in, and then sure enough, piece it up as we start to head into specific levels. The primary goal is going to hit this 1850 on SMR as Oklo continues to grind. This is what we're talking about. Bang, 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 Obie. We're going to post up at 1870s to see if we're going to be privileged and oh no, Obie.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to do that. We just took a little bit off by accident. Hitting the hotkeys too hard right there, Obie. Nothing substantial anyways. So we'll post up at 1870s, see if we can get that. But check out the reload on SMR.
Nice. I'm trying to work with this 320 here as we kind of consolidate. We did attempt to push up here, and about 30 seconds left on this 15-minute candle as of right now, and the open is at 320.64s here on Google as of right now. So just waiting and watching what we do with this 320 as a market. Again, it attempted some strength to the upside. We got to the range highs both on the ES and the Nasdaq. We attempted to push. The ES actually broke out of its range highs, and then now we're getting a little bit of a wick back down. So the question becomes, where do we go? Where do we go from here? That 320, a lot of churn on this 320. We're showing some weakness. 317.66s are the day lows here on Google. So let's see if we can kind of search for a lower low here. That's what I'm looking for. Lower highs for sure. VWAP kind of, we didn't get all the way back up to VWAP. There is some selling coming in here on Apple. Consolidation lows getting taken out as the market turns back in. And again, I'm just going to keep it simple. The market is in a very tight range trend. If it's going to come back to the lower end of the range, I'm going to ask us, I was just asking this question, what's the probability of Apple taking out that range low? That's happening right now. I didn't get involved in it necessarily, but I'm involved with the Google because, again, a little bit more in play than Apple, but regardless, I think the market might be, some of these market constituents a little bit more in play than the rest of them. What do you got going
look
on?
at this here, Obie.
Okay, what is that?
On Palantir. Yeah. I think this is gonna be a solid short right there in Palantir. You can see correlating with a lot of levels, Obie. This is gonna be yesterday's post-market roughly, pre-market high, and then you have this insane doji candle right here at 161.50. Oh, it's 151 rum? All right, so that doesn't really work. So shout out to 161 rum for those who know. Super chat. All right. Eddie Sarkazian. Oh my God. All right. Learn how to read, Joseph. All right. So short AMD at this point? Question mark. Let's take a look at the daily. What is the daily, and what are some of these higher time frames telling us? Let's start with the day, and then we'll work our way down. Again, we were talking. I was specifically talking about this gap getting filled a little bit more, maybe a bounce around 186. Could be the end of it at the end of the day, but hey, a little bit more of this upside gap to be filled. We like this, considering you're still down off of that previous pivot high, around 26%. Which isn't fun whatsoever, especially if you've been trapped up here. Oh, but where have we seen AMD do this before? Oh, yeah, that's right. March of 2024. I remember this day like it was literally yesterday. And I'm like, from this point on, I'm just rocking and rolling. What I was doing here was just selling a bunch of calls here, just constructing bear call spread, bear call spread, bear call spread, one after the other, and just collecting that premium. So that was a good time. Yeah, I think this could be a potential short, right? Like the downtrend's still fully intact. You're getting that slow curl over here. I mean, it breached. Neil would say that it probably breached right here. It gets aggressive out of the open. So you come back into it. Don't make it quite to some of those levels. You're rejecting some pre-market lows and now heading back towards the volume-weighted average price. But Grant Radcliffe, you're right. SMR doing its best snail impression. It might win the snail impression of the year. But Eddie Sarkazian, gifting 10 memberships. Wow, thank you very much. And look at Oclo still go, man. Obie, that was the trade of the day without any questioning. All right, who got one? Chicago DB. Are you a defensive back? Dollar bill, y'all. What's up, Mauricio? Melissa also. Isintoplasm. All right, Hinsey, Marion, the Boy Claws, Bree, FJ897. Chicago DB. How did Chicago DB get to? Oh, no, he didn't. Okay, so yeah, gifted a membership to Sprinkle Place. All right, very nice of you, and thank you very much for that. Another 20 memberships. Oh my God, who else is getting one over here? OSU Doc, We Buy Florida. Okay, Des One, Jeffrey Pereira, Shamito, Mark Peter Ryder, he's in the chat, and then Nonstop Low. So man, a lot going on here today. But SMR not heading in towards the levels in which we were looking for. So do we try to find that fade? Palantir is really attractive to me right now because look at this 5-minute volume print. indecision print at these highs. And then sure enough, right from that 161.42 level, you get a flush $1.50 of roughly, closer to $1. But hey, any form of a pullback, I'm going to be getting involved. It's unfortunate that, oh, and there it goes, guys. What an outstanding print at those highs on PLTR, Obie.
Yes, sir. That 320 kind of gave it up as of right now. So I'm watching that 317.66 because it seems like we might be making a beeline for the day low here on Google as the Nasdaq pulls back a little bit here. Only $1 away, but again, this thing will snap up and down $1 like it's nobody's business. We've seen it kind of do that thing on the day today. So just being patient, waiting, watching. We've got to the lower high. We've kind of traded below VWAP, and the market's kind of just, like I said before, consolidating. Apple did break that low, and now we're bidding back up pretty aggressively. So I'm being patient. Again, Apple being one of the leaders of the market, that could definitely add some pressure on some of these other names as well, if it can get the market moving as well. So I don't know. Being patient, watching, just trying to be aware of some of these nuances here as we maybe attempt to break down on Google. That's what I'm looking for. It could also not be the case as well, right? We could just not do that, bid right back above 320s, consolidate sideways. I have no idea, but participating in lower highs and lower lows as we have already cracked the day low. Look at that, we cracked the day low, and then normally for a false break, I'm expecting most of this range to be recovered, right? If this was an actual false break of the day low. But guess what? Buyers could only take it up to 322s while the market kind of showed a bit of a curl. We're still kind of consolidating within this leg here, this leg from 318s to 322s. We're still inside those bars as of right now, kind of signifying some more relative weakness on Google. Again, about almost a 3.5% move if you look at it relative to the open on the day today, but some of those pre-market prices were almost 5% above prior day's close as well. So maybe a little bit of profit taking coming in off of the open as of right now. But I'm looking for those day lows to come in. Those day lows could be interesting at the same time, guys. Like this could bounce pretty decently for one reason, and that is right here. We had aggressive buying yesterday right off of the open. Sellers took it almost all the way back to the open. Opening prices on Google, and look at that buying that steps in. V-shaped recovery. So right here, bit of a shelf, right? And on the first knock of that prior day's shelf, right? Resistance now turning into support, we get a little bit of relief there. So now the question becomes, are these sellers aggressive enough to push into prior day's levels? We did clip prior day's close and range lows as well. So that was a great long, a false break, or maybe a level hold of prior day's ranges. I like that. Now we're just consolidating, like I said before. So just gonna be patient. I know I had about $1 on this, but still being patient for the bigger picture move if that's what it's going to happen, right? If this is going to come back in. If it doesn't, that's perfectly fine as well. The market is super strong as of right now, bidding right back up. So that range, again, the probabilities change. I could be saying one thing and then the buying steps in and I could be totally wrong the next, right? And that's the thing about staying nimble and being adaptive in the market. The probabilities are literally changing with every tick, with every candle, with every print. So it's about being nimble and being like, okay, I have an idea one moment and I see a piece of information that skews the probabilities the other way. I have to be willing to let go of that bias and that idea and flip the script and be like, all right, cool, this is not going in that direction anymore as of right now because the probabilities are no longer in my favor. But again, easy to say, difficult to do. What do you got going on?
Obie, this guy just gifted 100, 120, 130, 150, 160, 160 total memberships.
Look at that.
Wow, is right, man. What do we want to hit for that, Obie? I can't even hit the ha-ha or anything along those lines.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Printing.
Mega printing.
We're printing those subs.
We're printing. Yes. Yeah, man. Shout out to Eddie Sarkisian.
Eddie Sarkisian.
Thank you very much. We'll hit this. Hold on. Okay, there we go. We'll hit the stone cold for you, my friend. Oh man, oh wow, yeah, the Jameson, way to call out. Thank you very much for all of that stuff. That's absolutely phenomenal, and it goes very much appreciated. So thank you, Eddie K, for that once again. So I think Eddie, okay, it doesn't even really matter, but at the end of the day, hit everything, Joseph. Bang, yeah, let's go. Hit everything they say. But look at Microsoft continuing to grind. If you were thinking going short the market, Good luck. You know why? NVDA is climbing higher. Microsoft's starting to move higher. Google's relatively subdued. That's okay. But when these big boys are really starting to cook, it's tough to go short. And then you have the likes of Amazon grinding higher as well, too. We went over this yesterday. If you're not looking at the heaviest weighted names and you're trying to short it and they're all grinding higher, that's not putting probability in your favor, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what we want to do. So Amazon, Microsoft, and NVDA continuing on its grind. And then sure enough, thanks Grant for pointing this one out, my friend, that SMR just moving absolutely sideways, doing bubkiss, which isn't that much fun. So anyways, aside from that, we'll go over some of our volume names. I shorted PLTR off of those levels, says the investing travel. Yeah, I mean, good play on that. Starting to rebound. I think there's going to be a good opportunity to get involved with it once again. This isn't going to drag the Nasdaq up in itself, just not weighted heavily enough. But sure enough, if we get some weakness in there, a nice rebound, what is the volume telling us as it's starting to step down? Obie, how much do I have to risk to get involved with this and know that I'm wrong? 73 cents.
It's a bit of a distance.
It's a bit of a distance, but.
But is it worth the trade?
Yeah. I typed in 73 for some reason in the thing there. Okay. PLTR. That is a Nasdaq stock. All right, as we're starting to climb a little bit higher, as long as we continuously hold these levels, then I'm going to be looking to fade Palantir. SMR just not doing anything really, so this is like a big-time boring stock. So we want to try to avoid that at all costs. Let's take a look at what Palantir is. I mean, we're already positioned in it relatively well, so we won't complain whatsoever. Palantir is 161.79. We're currently trading up at 30s, so we're just slowly being, well, not slowly, we're being continuously patient, waiting to see if we step up a little bit more, fail to construct a new high of the day, and then we can just put our stop up here at 161.84, and then look for that move back in to our primary target, which would be the volume weighted average price. But right now, sitting in SMR, looking at Palantir, we might hop out of this one. My break evens right here around 36s. If it comes back to that, we're at a dodge. We're getting out of dodge, Obie.
Yes, sir. So my friend's asking me, what is that? What did you just say? What does that mean? A bubkiss. I was like, it's proprietary language. Yeah. Proprietary language.
It means essentially nothing.
Yeah, it means absolutely. It means it translates to absolutely nothing here. 320 is bidding back up here on Google. So we're just kind of trading sideways. So I got a little bit more in on the 320 push here as well. But if we're going to trade sideways, I'm probably going to be done with this soon enough. You can see the market screaming to the upside here, actually breaking some of those prior highs and pushing even more, especially the spider. So do have to be a little wary here on Google if it snaps up and gets a little aggressive. Don't necessarily want to be don't want to continue to be involved in this one. Take a look at this low of day false break here on Apple, man. It kind of rips right back towards VWAP, so beautiful reversion to VWAP on the fall, off of the false break of that consolidation low on Apple. Let's see if sellers kind of step back in here on VWAP on Apple, or does it actually travel to the range highs here, 79 halves, and then that's where sellers potentially sell and step back in, or we actually break out. I don't know. Those are, again, all the iterations, or some of the iterations that I'm thinking of in terms of how price action could potentially pan out there. Going to be patient, wait and see if it actually comes into fruition. VWAP sellers were dominant here in and around 11:30. Right now, it's about 12 o'clock, 30 minutes later. Let's see if they're still there. Let's see if they're still dominant. Market environment or market kind of picture has changed a little bit as we are pushing up a little bit more aggressively. So can we push back above VWAP and sustain? Maybe, perhaps. I think that's within range of possibilities for sure. Let me pull up the chat here. What are you guys trading? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious to know. You guys are always putting up all these stocks, but we're looking at a lot of these ones already. UNH, okay, that's one I haven't heard in a while. Let's see how our friend UNH is doing. UNH. bidding back up. This one got that Berkshire bid a few months ago, I think, right? A few months ago, it would seem like it was just yesterday, but yeah, okay, there you go. A couple months ago, getting that bid popping up into 380s, now consolidating. I think bigger picture, this might take, if this is to recover back to its former glory above this 500 mark, I think that it could definitely take some more time here. But yeah, consolidating sideways off of the bounce. 200 push was nice, didn't quite get to 200. 250 bounce was where it was at here on UNH. What else are you guys talking about? AMD looking weak, question mark. All right, let's take a quick look at AMD. Well, that's the monthly on AMD. Talk about range expansion here as we're trending to the upside on AMD. Some of these legs getting very, very volatile. This is a monthly chart. Past, I guess, the month of October, look at this gain. Is that correct? Oh my God. AMD just in the month of October was up 58%.
Right.
And now a little bit of a reversion, 22% down on this month, with only about a few days left to finish printing the closing prices. So interesting stuff there nonetheless. But let's take a look at what AMD's doing here on the intraday time frame. So 200, okay, so we're kind of chopping around this 200. Maybe a false break of this prior week low is happening as of right now, but still kind of consolidating underneath that 200 on the day. So let's see where that VWAP kind of comes in as of right now. That's probably around there as well. So yeah, looking a little weak potentially. If this is going to continue, I'm looking for that day low and that prior week low as well on AMD. So good call out on that. But guys, it's 12 o'clock. So
already,
we got
wow.
a little bit of Adara and we got Neil with his lesson of the day. We'll see you guys soon. Enjoy.
I think what's happening now in this market is, and I think, great, we just had Obie up here. I would say what's happening in this market right now is a reversion. We had a really beautiful reversion here off of the open, and right now we are at day's highs. So nice continuation here of yesterday's strength right now for the Nasdaq, or sorry, this is the S&P 500, but Nasdaq and S&P looking pretty similar here. I do want to mention, it is worth noting, U.S. President Donald Trump set to take the podium at any moment for something called a Thanksgiving turkey pardoning. If I get more info, I'll let you know. I'm listening to the stream right now. I'm hearing jazz music. Speaking of Trump, I'm just seeing reports suggesting that Kevin Hassett, who is, of course, the White House economic advisor, is actually being seen as the front runner in the Fed chair search. This isn't exactly news. Trump himself said it'll probably be one of, quote, the Kevins, so that would be Hassett or Kevin Warsh. But either way here, just interesting update on the Fed chair race. Keep an eye as well, guys, today on some of these oil-related plays. We know there are some talks of potential ends here to the conflict with the Ukraine and Russia. We know that Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky is trying to set up a meeting with Trump right now, continuing to see reports about that. And as such, oil, as we get geopolitical tensions lessening, it does drop, which leads to an increase sometimes in these travel names. Zscaler earnings tonight, along with a whole bunch of other companies, including the likes of, you've got Dell, you have HPQ, you're going to have all of these again after the bell. There will be more infographics to come, so keep your eyes peeled for TTV Research. And we do have to remind you guys, the biggest AI story today on watch, Google actually gapping up on it, but right now certainly giving up a lot of that early strength. Basically, the information reports that Google and Meta are in talks there for a deal with Meta to get involved here with Google's AI chips. So that's a bad look for Nvidia and a lot of these other chip makers. So that's why we got Google, at least initially, Google to the downside. So Google to the upside, Nvidia to the downside, now kind of doing the opposite. Before we send you back to Neil, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the US. But there is still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Origenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more. Scheduled meeting today. Back to over to Neil and his lesson. Neil, give the people their lesson.
Okay, people, here's your lesson of the day. Thank you so much, Sarah Dara. I feel like I could almost we could do like a high five, but I would do like my finger up here and hard. Other way. Close enough. It's so much fun. Look, it's so much fun, the new setup. I think it's amazing, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. But there's something we say a lot of times. It's like, trust your read, right? And be patient. I would say at least a few dozen times a day that's going to get said, whether myself says something along those lines, Sean will say something along those lines, Obie or anybody, Joe, Sharif will say all these things. But you have to understand sometimes what that might mean, because trust your read might seem like, oh, just I have this gut feeling, but a gut feeling should be backed by something. Right? Like there's a reason why you are feeling this way, usually based on preparation or something you've seen before, or pattern recognition, or maybe it's a trade from the previous day that's set up the same way. Those are the factors that have to come into it. Now, ultimately, I'm going to show you an example of like trust your read here and what it ended up meaning. When I was short, like obviously Mara ended up working for a short, but you ended up with an inside day, like 11 top here to like 1065 or so. So it doesn't really fall through like a full dollar, barely a $0.5 range, which is fine for a $10, $11 stock. There's nothing wrong with that. But it was when I didn't hold till the low of the day on the first move. And then on the second move, when it actually wicked the $11 level, I let it bounce at a higher low, and then I had a bat out here where it's like it hasn't broken VWAP, and yet I'm taking some off. But it was right in off of this bid. And I remember I was looking at iBid at the time, and I was also looking at this little bit of a trend break saying, ooh, I think this move might be done. It was a bit of a gut feel. I was like, ooh, no, this looks like this could be done. This particular short should come out. And also I was trusting my read. It seems like, okay, well, yeah, but why is that a big level? I understand like the trend break, but if you thought it was a short, it never actually breaks that low. It never breaks your entry price there. So why jump out of it? Because in the back of my mind, I've already done some work on Mara. And I had prepared to trade this one to the south side. And I know that one of the big things that I always look for is prior day big resistance levels. And if it's not gapping above the high of the day, sometimes that's the open range. The open range high and lows matter. So where it was bouncing, now in the moment, did I say, oh my goodness, it's bouncing off of this level? I actually didn't. I just kind of saw the turn, felt where it bounced before, and was like, my gut's telling me I should be getting out of this trade. But part of that is going to be the subconscious that's remembering, hey man, you've seen this zoomed out chart even if you're not looking at it right now. Because you go through all these when you sit down at 6:45 in the morning, and they're all in the back of the brain. Now, ultimately, you do have to take that next step and then confirm, hey, that gut feel that I had, or thinking that that could be a key level, or it's looking like one, confirm that, hey, there was something more to it than just, oh, I looked at the tape. In this particular case, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. That was the open range top. We were trading Mara yesterday. This is where it broke out in the afternoon. You were right. That was a key level. When it double bottomed there, you do want to get out of Dodge, just in case there's a curl. So that's the thing about your gut, is a lot of times it's going to be informed by something, and you can just be like, oh, great, I listened to my gut and it worked. But if you leave it at that, then you might miss some confirmation that could inform you better on the next trade. So I know, okay, well, I'll look out for that a little bit more, remind myself to zoom out the chart in the moment. Maybe I find a long off that level. Who really knows? But if you just leave it at, oh, my gut was right about this, yay, well, you kind of miss the point, which is to try to understand sometimes what is going on. Because there's no such thing as actually having trading spidey sense. There's no such thing as having spidey sense in general, unless you're a TV character, right? It's only ever your subconscious taking in information and processing it. That's what's actually happening. So it's fun to say that, ooh, my spidey sense is saying this, blah, blah, blah. No, something's actually going on. And if you don't bother to quantify it or attempt to, then you're not actually going to gain anything from that information or that trade, win or lose. The second thing that we talk about a lot is patience, and sometimes what that means. And I know I'll always be a broken record with this, but I find if I'm executing at an obvious price area, like I can find where the tape is slowing down or I can find the resistance, that's good. And if it's all over the place, it's random. Now the thing is, like, Google ends up being good for me by being precise, but it was the nature of the precision that I think saved me from a big loss. Now ultimately, there's a million places I could have bet Google goes for a long. Could I have just gambled it worked here? Sure. Could I have gambled there'd be a higher low somewhere? I suppose. When it made two of these higher lows, could I have just tried to buy that long? I suppose so. But instead, it's a wait for the trend to break. Now, ultimately, my first execution is a little bit late because I could have had it on this other bar, but this is where I'm trying to execute. It closes above, it breaks here. I'm playing for it to make that level. It goes right to the top and I'm able to get out. But that's, to me, what precision looks like. Like sitting around and waiting, oh my goodness, it's boring, nothing's happening. Yeah, because I want to set something up that's a high probability. I look at yesterday when I took like 3 shots at Tesla, maybe even 4 shots around the 420 level, and ended up with, I think, basically like 1 1/4 wins if I look at it correctly. But effectively, I'd call it like 3 losses and 1 win on Tesla. But here's the thing. 1 precise trade on Alphabet is twice as good as a couple, or actually 3 losses on Tesla yesterday. And that's what precision can get you. Because ultimately, if you get the confirmation on your setup, or let's just say you wait until the trend is in your favor, which I think is a form of confirmation, then typically it just works easier. Like it's easier when you're in the trend to glide to the area that you expect. And this is going to be hindsight being 2020. Obviously, when it breaks this trend in here, most times, if I didn't have a bias, and I'll get to that in a second, then I would be shorting this, and obviously there's a good short as well. But about waiting for whatever it is to confirm that setup, you should know what it is that you're looking for. I see a bottoming tail candle after a breakout of a trend line. I know that's an entry point. And then I see the opening range high. I know where my target is going to be. So those are trades that I have to have. Now, ultimately, this will be hindsight, but I also know that if you fail a pre-market high and you fail an opening range high and you break a clear 1, 2, 3 point trend, that's an A entry for me. So I have to also understand something. So I might be green on the day today. I might have made back a small loss from yesterday. And I might be up on Google. But none of that actually matters. And you won't see me celebrate it because that's still an A setup there, that short. But I was a little bit biased to the long side. Sometimes that can be a good thing. When is it a good thing to be biased to the long side? If it's just straight up trending all day long. Is Alphabet straight up trending all day long? No. What did it do at the open? It dropped heavily. So the first move was to fill in the gap. Is there until it's actually holding above that open range or showing me a VWAP, why would I be biased alongside? It showed me a long trade, but I don't need to be biased to that. So one, you've got to stick to your guns or your gut read, but make sure you are going back and quantifying what was it that your gut was telling you. What is it that you saw that made your gut or whatever your read be right or wrong? Why was it worth following? Because usually there's something there. The second thing that you always have to do, I think, is be precise and patient. What is it that you're looking for to execute? Not just this is a long, because I see traders lose all the time being like, this is a long. You might eventually catch it, but if you don't have a reason to get in that's very specific, you'll just start buying random prices hoping it goes in your favor. And then the other part of it is, like here, when I'm evaluating, does it matter that I am up on Alphabet? No. Does it matter that I am 1 for 1 on Alphabet? No. What actually matters? That's an A setup. I'd have maybe even an A+. And that's a solid setup, but this is a better setup. 1, 2, 3 points. You hear me say it all the time. Break of trend, clean. There's your risk. There's your 1-to-1. Every single level where you'd want to take something out, there, those are nice little stopping points, and then the low of the day. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And you have to grade yourself that way. Because over the course of a year or years or weeks and months, that's what ends up mattering. It matters more whether I get this trade the next time or the next 10 times that it happens. That matters far more whether or not I'm up on Google today. That's great. They ain't gonna get you paid in the long term. What gets you paid in the long term is making sure that you have more of these setups and less of the stocks that you're fighting, the blow-ups, the smaller wins. That's what ends up mattering at the end of the day. So make sure when you do grade yourself or go back and look at your trades that it's fine, go ahead, celebrate everything you want to, but if you missed an A+ setup, I don't care what your net is that day. Fine, you can care what your net is. I won't care what my net is if I miss an A+ setup. I will simply have to ask myself, why did I miss it? How can I not miss it next time? What was the reason I was so biased? Whatever it is, address that problem, because if you don't, you can't move forward. I'm obsessed with that. That's just myself. That's kind of how I'm built. But every trader in some sense has to be able to do that. So you do want to listen to your gut. You got to quantify it. You do want to be precise and patient with your entries. Know what it is that you're looking for. And when you grade your day, make sure you talk about, or at least talk to yourself about, the things that you missed out on, especially if they were AA plus setups in your book. So there's your lesson of the day. I gave you 3. The market wants 25,000. The Nasdaq just went green. You know what? Realistically, I was just yapping until we got green on the Nasdaq. That was my overall goal whatsoever. Not to finish my point, just to see this get to green. Go Nasdaq.
Yeah, keep an eye here on the market. U.S. President Donald Trump is speaking at this turkey pardon. This is now live. He is pardoning some turkeys. I guess this is a tradition. Either way, he has mentioned actually the economy, saying that it's very strong. So with Trump, there's always a potential something market-related can happen. I'm going to cover that, but just so you guys know, in case you were not aware, he started talking. Also, Nvidia posted this on their X. So this is the Nvidia newsroom account saying they are, quote, delighted by Google's success. They've continued to make great advances in AI, and we continue to supply to Google. Nvidia is a generation ahead of the industry, and it's the only platform that runs every AI model and does it everywhere computing is done. Nvidia offers greater performance, versatility, and fungibility than ASICs, which are designed for specific AI frameworks or functions. So Nvidia basically saying, congratulations to Google, we're still top dog. Back to Joe and Obie.
Right, that's what the top dogs do, Derek. You gotta make sure these people know their place. No, I'm obviously being sarcastic. Obviously, Jensen and company probably going to say something along those lines. But aside from that, SMR, guys, continuing to grind higher and higher. There it is on SMR. We're just slowly piecing some of that was an accident, but these are all higher sells up there. Yeah, Palantir not doing what we want. Everything just keeps getting bid back up. I have no issues with it whatsoever because I think at some point it is going to turn around. Let's get over to Palantir so you can see where I am on the short. Yeah, good thing I got over to the New Zealand markets over here. Palantir on the NZ. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Come on. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know, brother. I don't
You're
know.
in NZ, I think.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm NQ right now.
NQ?
Yeah. I don't know why it's not. It's loading. Yeah, but anyways, aside from that, I'll pull it up over here on my side chart so we can see. Told you, as long as we don't breach and hold this high, I like our chances. Now, this boat may take a little bit of time to turn around completely, but sure enough, I do like our chances. Average now being 161.26, so about 20 cents out of the money, roughly. Nothing outstanding, but you can see double top up here at 161.70. This is the level in which I was referring to, and then sure enough, we're starting to come back in a little bit. But every time on the tape, you can see it just continuously getting bought back up. So hopefully this time around, it isn't the case, and we can make a move lower as Amazon is putting in some identical prints as well too. I think today is one of those days where they might come into play. You might get those moves back in towards the volume weighted average price, even though that might be a little bit of an extension from here, but nonetheless. So there it goes on Palantir. So you push back down to some key support levels and it gets bought right back up. And I think it's important for us to correlate everything from a daily. So I pulled up to Palantir and I asked myself, hey, is it really one of those sessions where we're gonna have those strong shorts coming in? And you know what, I'm leaning more or less towards no, but can we close as a doji? That would bring us right around that 159. OP would be phenomenal. We talked about previous days close not too long ago and how price just tends to be attracted to those specific levels. And let's see if we can get it back up here for you guys one more time. I'll give this trade, I'm thinking I'm gonna give myself a regular at bat on this specific trade. One, because I love the print at the highs, and I think we're slightly overextended from an intraday standpoint. Can I be completely wrong? Absolutely. And we're starting to form those indecision prints at key supports, and that's not a good sign whatsoever. I'll get this over here so I know you guys can see it. Oops, what did I just do now? Oh no. All right. Anyways, aside from that, I removed something. Great stuff. Okay. Anyways, that's not going to work out how I wanted to. But yes, talk to me.
All right, guys. So now for some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, Canada's largest provider of leveraged inverse and inverse leveraged ETFs, has just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs, offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P, TSX 60, semiconductors, and on U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special rebate fee, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. Plus, the U.S.-focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for purer performance exposure. If you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn some more. All right, man, this market looks like we might actually be getting back to that 25K mark here on the Nasdaq as we push up even higher. So yeah, a little bit underwater here on the Googles as it held that 320 pretty well, but kind of I realize I'm just kind of getting chopped up in no man's land here in and around these 320s. The market attempts to push higher. Again, Apple came all the way back up above VWAP there, so that's been pretty interesting here as well. Beautiful reversion off of those range lows there, and yeah, I thought this was just going to range trend, but that trend started to just accelerate to the upside, and now we're pushing all the way back through highs there. So absolute strength in this market, and one of the stocks is not like the others here, Joe, and that's Amazon. Amazon pulling up all the way up to its highs here as well. So AMZN, let's take a quick look at this. Look at that, 230. So we just clipped the high at 230s. 230.08 is the day high here on Amazon. Absolute strength. I'm keeping an eye on. I'm watching it. It is a bit overextended. Technically, yes. But again, being patient and waiting and watching for the next trade, which could potentially be a reversion of that action. But this market, man, is not stopping anywhere here. We are continuing to blast to the upside as this aggressive buying continues here on the market. It's funny, man. In the morning, we were getting chop. But now more distinct and directional action happening here when it comes to the Nasdaq and the ES here. Where will it stop? When will it stop? I have no idea, but I definitely want to be involved if and when that does happen here. But getting chopped up here on Google as it just is still within that $2 range, around 320s as of right now. What do you got going on?
All right, guys, and now... Oh, okay, all right, we'll be a little bit more patient there, but here it is, guys. We take a little bit off on SMR. All right, and now for some exciting news out of Canada for those who are in the South. Okay, all right, we'll get it fired up. We'll fire it up one more time. I don't even see it over here. Oh, bang. All right, fire it back up. Guys, I just found something crazy. I'm digging into exchanges and stumbled across BTCC, top 30 globally. But here's the wild part. BTCC has never been hacked. While major exchanges keep getting rejected, BTCC stays untouched. Zero KYC if you're in the US, Canada, or Europe. Through Trader TV, though Trader TV, you get 100 USD coupons for registering through, plus 15% bonus, things that cover losses up to 15K USD. Seriously, what am I missing here? Scan that QR code for more info. All right, there goes SMR. We got all out of Palantir as the leg takes an additional move higher. So we're going to avoid that. It gave you that 5-minute print, but then it was just like, all right, yeah, buy program still fully engaged. So it's going to be the same narrative. If I'm going to be looking for this market to head back towards the downside, well, guess what? I think it's going to come a little bit later in the day. I don't have too much size left, 10% on this SMR trade, and we've been sitting in it for quite some time. So sell right there above the 70, getting 73s, and our first initial position was at 948. 950, we'll call it, 20 minutes after the open. The one that we're currently sitting on at 10:30, it's now 12:30. So we've been sitting in this for 2 hours looking for a potential move higher, and that's okay. Patient hands prevail. So there it is, guys. Core weave starting to grind as well. I'm not going to stand in front of this freight train. We'll let them squeeze a bunch of individuals out. You're not fooling me today, as I am not going to go against the market just yet. I do think there's going to be a good opportunity for some potential shorts. Let's take a look at LEU, as some people are mentioning it in the chat. Okay, I respect the call out, but unfortunately, this has next to no liquidity. You can't trade this from an intraday standpoint. So yeah, there's not much we can do about that right there. So Yeah, very, very liquid is this name. But there goes SMR putting in a new high. Oh, a little more shares would have been nice on that one there, Obie. But we're not going to complain whatsoever. We're going to hold our last little bit all the way to the volume-weighted average price. So there it is, a couple attempts on SMR. This was the number one and number two idea I had this morning. Oklo being 1, SMR being 2. And then sure enough, we're getting the Katina man. Check out this reload, my boy. Oh, he's on the phone. Sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. So, yeah, anyways, aside from that, guys, let's keep an eye out on Palantir to see if we can get that moving. And there goes NVDA helping drag the overall market higher, Obie.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no, definitely this 322 potentially coming in for a bit of a push and a break here as we speak. But, guys, trade the pool. For too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines, but that is changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters. That's discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. Wow, so we made it to 25,000. I talked about this in the morning. I was like, what are the chances? Maybe within range, yes. It's definitely possible. And here it has come into fruition. Look at this market kind of accelerate to the upside here. ES just took a little bit of a teleport as well, a little bit higher. So yeah, strength coming in with some aggression. Tesla coming in to its pre-market highs as of right now. What else is happening? Nvidia with some fresh highs. So we did crack that 175 and pushed aggressively higher. 175.90 is currently trading on Nvidia, and Apple slowly trekking back towards that 280 as well. And then Google as well, kind of consolidation highs at 322s. We're coming in and attempting to push a little bit closer into those 322s as of right now. So when will it stop? I don't know, but here's the area of interest. We got to that 25,000, guys. So just a bit of an interesting area over the past couple of months, and another day where we've just kind of melted back up, kind of reverted into this level. Let's see whether or not we pivot off of this, or it means absolutely nothing on the day and we just continue the bid higher, Joe. So that's what I'm waiting for. Where's that next key piece of information? We'll wait and see. 25K could be interesting, could be nothing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're continuously going here in SMR. We'll take our last little bit out at, I mean, we're down 6% right now in SMR. So we'll take that last little bit out right at the volume weighted average price if we can get there, but we can't complain whatsoever. Entry right here, boom, boom, boom. We piece it up, add a little bit here. Nothing substantial. This was only about 5% or so, but that allowed us to kind of keep this trade running. So not too bad of a look there on SMR. We can take a look at it on the 5-minute time frames. You might be able to see a little bit more, but not as detailed. Obviously, entry number 1, boom, we piece it out. We're on base right there, and then sure enough, boom, we take a little bit more, add, and then now we're starting to climb higher. Adair, what do you have for us?
Yeah, I don't have any news. I just want to let you guys know Trump finished the turkey pardoning. The turkeys have been pardoned, and that is done. No more Trump commentary for the rest of the day. I also want to mention, guys, I mentioned earlier John Deere reporting earnings tomorrow before the bell. Here's a fun look at John Deere's quarterly revenue from Q1 2023 to the present. I see that Neil found the cute little images I added here. So if you want to take a look at John Deere's very middling, actually, Q3 revenues, you can see there's a lot of kind of year-over-year declines, but you can look at this more in detail on X at TTV Research. I will have an earnings preview for John Deere posted a little bit closer to the end of the day. So again, X at TTV Research for all of your infographic needs. Always feel free to tag me in the chat if you have any suggestions. Back to you.
Yeah, we're going to be looking forward to that for sure, as Caterpillar reported obviously earlier, and not too bad coming out from them. So Palantir still grinding, but we're going to be sitting patient. We're now just stalking, unfortunately, like that deer. I'm going to be looking to just kind of see if we can get that move back into some prior levels. That could be 161.69. So if you catch the top right now, let it do an additional liquidity grab, because I think that's what this is roughly right here. Is just that extended push, and then sure enough, there it is. A nice strong downtick in Palantir. There it goes. Oh no. I don't want to chase it up here, but it's just kind of like, Joseph, you have to get involved as we're continuously bleeding. My entry price being substantially better than my first two. So let's see if that's going to work. SMR has been the darling for us on today's session. Let's head back over to Palantir to see if we can get that move. You're $12 on Tesla. Let's rock and roll. Nice work there, brother. Yeah, the market's been going nuts. I've been sitting in this, I don't know if you just seen that, Katina, man, but I've been sitting in this SMR grind all day. But here it is on Palantir. Let's customize this so you can see it a little bit better. Head over there, okay, apply, and let's see if this works, right? We're only at one strike right now. I'm willing to take a couple more strikes. I'm only in half the position once again. I think this is going to be the primary level in which I'm going to look to be taking profit. But if you have the ability to snipe this peak right there, then that might be a good, your risk to reward is absolutely A+++, so not too bad. Nice work on Tesla, Sean, that's a pretty good trade. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, back there. And again, if it continuously bids back up, I'm good with going half size here. And then if it really starts to work, then we can add a little bit more. It's working right now, but the tape is still relatively strong, Obie.
Yeah, this market, so some top wicks forming here. I'm watching Apple still, again, in that range high area, maybe in a potential supply zone, but we'll see. This 15-minute candle has about 20 seconds left here on, you can see here on the ES and the Nasdaq, kind of printing that top wick. Do sellers step in? I have no idea, but again, this is that area we're looking, where I'm specifically looking for something interesting to happen here in and around 25K. Like I said before, it could mean absolutely nothing, but this is the first sign of some selling coming in on the close of the 15-minute candle. Understandable. Let's see what the next one does. Here's the next open here. As of right now, do we continue past? I'm watching these Mag 7s, guys, but that Amazon, that 230.08 still continues to be the high a day, and we might just be getting that prior bar low break on the 15-minute candle after the opening range. I guess 945. We've held 15-minute lows since 945 on Amazon. So let me pull that up right now and take a look here if Amazon can potentially give us some sort of opportunity here. But that 230, I guess, was the area to really kind of watch it. You can see here, strongest volume candle as well. All right, so I missed that right there. Strongest volume candle comes in, clips the day high, and then pulls back in from 230s to 229s. Will the market turn around now? I have no idea, but this Amazon is coming in real nice as well. There goes, there's a little bit of a wick action there. Dark pool kind of skewing the perspective for us, but you get the gist there. Kind of watching this 229. Let's see what it does with that 229 area as well. Google still have eyes on this. Google, I got to fix these wicks right now, man. These wicks are a little crazier. Yeah, see 329, 290 low. So for those of you who don't know, sometimes our charts kind of fill in some of the dark pool data that comes in. Now, dark pools, they're not trading necessarily real time. It's older orders potentially, or orders that didn't really happen around this time, and they're just coming in and showing up on the book around this time. So sometimes that gives us this kind of a wick action there. So there's the Apple. I guess I might as well just close and reopen some of this as well. So Google, there you go. This should be better now. Okay, yeah, see that wick is gone. And then Amazon as well. Amazon looking pretty decent as of right now. But that 15-minute prior low is coming in soon, Joe. So I don't know. Are we going to break? It's actually here right now, but the top of this 15-minute candle is pretty flat. So it's kind of suggesting that we may be open to exploring some prices between that 230 and 229 before traveling lower, if that's going to be the case. But again, the probabilities change with every passing order, every passing tick, every candle that's printed on the chart. And as of right now, if you guys can see, both the Nasdaq and ES, yeah, we got some selling at the close of that 15-minute candle, but we're trading right back above it and trading a little bit higher now. So 25K could be, again, interesting. But if we're going to do absolutely nothing there, I do have to respect that.
I'm gonna foul out here on Palantir. Yeah, there's just no point in me trying to short it when it wants to continuously grind higher. I think from a daily standpoint, it's displaying that, hey, we're not gonna really come back in just yet. So here's the daily, nice buying pressure right here. Price opens up down here, it goes back down, and then just continuously guides. So I'll just take a little bit of a haircut on that one, essentially a break even on that, and then we're just gonna sit in SMR. I'm gonna get this off of multiple charts. Give me a second here, Assassino. Yeah, all right, let's go. AIML, guys, your heart will be beat 100,000 times today, and every beat is a data point. AIML Innovations, CSE AIML, OTCQB AIMLFF turns that data into potential life-saving insights and max yield as an AI engine that filters noise, labels each heartbeat, and with lab-grade precision and shrinks ECG analysis from days to minutes. Their mission? To revolutionize how heart disease is detected, monitored, and prevented. Learn more at AIML Health and follow at AIML Innova on X. All right, there it goes. Yeah, so glad we got out of that Palantir. Look at that squeeze just before. I would not have been fun, and I would have been a little bit frustrated. But regardless, need to say, guys, there goes SMR. I'm going to take my last little out right here on SM. Why is this displaying me two different prices? Okay, there it is, bang. So SMR at that high. We're gonna take that last little bit out there, Obie, and see if we can rock it. Katina, man, are you let's going the SMR trade? Yeah, look at, brother, look, entry, bang, reload, bang. You know what I mean? Couple reloads, not enough size. But anyways, nonetheless, what do we got? A super chat. I need to buy a Corvette. Do I buy Nvidia? I love how it's spelled. All right. I don't know, man. I'm not going to give you any formative advice. Save your money. There you go. So wherever it comes from, if you really want that Corvette, then save your money.
What's your favorite car?
What's my favorite car?
Yeah.
That's a great
question.
question.
Chat remembers. Chat,
I mean, like, am I being realistic? Or am I being unrealistic with my favorite car?
It doesn't matter. If you could get any car.
Any car? Yeah, I think it would be a McLaren.
McLaren? Which one specifically?
I'm not that much of a car head, to be honest with you. Whatever one's the nicest, I'll take.
Like a nice clean McLaren P1 maybe.
Yeah, whatever goes vroom and whatever looks the best. At the end of the day, I think I'm gonna. How about you? What's your favorite car?
I'm waiting for the chat.
Like a Nissan Skyline.
I've told. Oh, come on. See, you remember. You remember. Come on.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's a classic. Not any Nissan Skyline. There's some really rare ones.
Yeah, Toyota.
That people are not letting go of. So maybe one day, if it's within range, I'm definitely willing to pick one up.
I know for a fact my next car is either going to be an X4 or a Range Rover Evo.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to go with an M, but I don't
M
know.
series.
Yeah. Like just like a cliche, like an M, like an M4, M5. I think is not bad, but we'll get there. It'll be fun. But the thing is, like I barely drive as much as I used to anymore. That's the thing. I just especially when coming in the mornings, I honestly prefer taking transit because it's less mental hassle. I don't have to deal with drivers on the road. I don't have to deal with extra decision making, which is very unnecessary, and it just keeps the mental very clear and focused, and it gives me time in the morning where I don't have to focus on driving, where I can be focused on like looking at the market, scouring Twitter for have like a weekend driver. The Skyline would be nice, maybe to take to the track for some four-wheel drifts.
Right on.
So that's what I'm looking for. Those 320s may be coming back in here on Google. No idea. This market is blasting to the upside, and Google continues to show relative weakness. Interesting. Bit of a disconnect happening here. I have no idea why, to be honest. But that 25K is looking pretty aggressively strong as we push a little bit higher as of right now on this here market. So 25K was a bit of a pit stop. Not really. We had no real relief. Maybe the end of a candle showed some selling as it potentially came in there and trending to the upside here. So what is the strongest in the room? That's what I'm asking, and that's Tesla. 421.45, almost at prior day's highs, which is 421.70. Sorry, it's at 420.21s currently, and prior day's high is sitting at 421.70s. So keeping a close eye on that as Tesla pushes for prior day's highs. Nvidia is actually very, very strong, but pushing into prior day's lows. There goes Amazon. So Amazon prior bar 15-minute break, maybe a false break of that action there. So keeping a close eye on that to see what that'll bring in. But man, this market is screaming to the upside, Joe. Screaming to the upside.
Yeah, it is,
that
man.
kind of strength not really showing up here on Google. Yeah. Interestingly enough.
Oh yeah, I mean that works out for you, right? You're short 320.77.
I mean, I had to hold against me a little bit, but you know,
coming back
it is still relatively weak. That was kind of the idea there. Did I manage risk effectively? Not as effective as I really could have, but stayed involved with the trade for sure.
Let's go.
What do you got going on?
Man, Meta up to 630. Nice grab off of those lows. Yeah, I got out and then back in. I bought some yesterday there, Gorev. So that's a pretty good look. Right now, I'm in no positions. I just want to join the trend right now. We hit target on SMR. I know I'm going over the same trade over and over again, but at the end of the day, boom, it's just reloading at the right time, steady, sitting on your hands for quite some time, and then sure enough, running into that target. It never told me to get out until up there, so just kind of going with the flow and what price action is telling us. You can see, first attempt, we were wrong. The no hesitation nation over here there, Sean Katina, man. So there it is, bang, a nice move up higher, bang, 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 and then sure enough, a couple attempts there. Now, as for Palantir, it's been Oppo, right? This hasn't worked out for us as it's continuously grinding higher. I thought this was going to be a nice key pivot high where we can get short. I get in there. Half size, I'm like, all right, let's try to get a better price. Boom, as soon as it breached that high of the day, and sure enough, you get the volume on the 1 minute time frame step in, and then it's blast off. So I'm like, okay, liquidity grab, let's see what we can get going on here. You get a nice strong candle with the volume supporting it, and then sure enough, I'm like, yeah, you know what, this is fishy. The tape telling me, Joseph, it's gonna climb right higher again, and then sure enough, just before the volume steps in for the second time, we get out of there 110%. Sean, what do you got?
You know, I was just going to say, Joe, I mean, congratulations. It looks like, you know, your trading is like morphing into a little bit of style here with me. So I'm glad that we're both sharing these ideas. And I want to say thank you for mentioning that. And what a great trade that was there on IBIT. I mean, similar to what we were doing here on Tesla. I mean, nice. when we were here, guys, we were buying this dip and, you know, we lost in it right there, but then boom goes the dynamite, right? Like right back to the upside, getting out a couple dollars in and then now all the way back up to 420. So again, Joe, like, you know, congrats on that. And unfortunately, I just sat back down, so I didn't see much of Obie's trades there, but I know he's hitting it as well. And thank you, big thank you to Eddie there in the chat. I kept on trying to ask like what stock he had and how he made all his money, but I don't think he's in the chat anymore. But thanks for all those memberships, and make sure you guys do grab those. You can go on to YouTube and say yay and grab those up. So I just want to say right now, I'm going to look at a short right now for IBIT just to see if we can, you know, dance around this 88,000, but we're out if this breaks 50, so we're 5 or 6 cents away right now from getting out. We're short right now, 49.96.
So IBIT.
Right now on IBIT. This may be a problem. And then, you know, like we say before, you know, take wins, but don't take big hits. So our last 20% out on the TQs as it starts to rip a little northbound right there. So still in on this Tesla, man. I hope you guys are able to, you know, again, take some of those trades Joe had there. Great job, I'm assuming, with Obie as well. So here we go again. What a day. You know, the Nasdaq was getting absolutely crushed, and we were all sitting here, woe is me. And the next thing you know, man, complete turnaround right now in the Nasdaq. And, you know, get out of your winners when they're there, because AMD is one of those examples, again, right here, where, you know, if you don't get out and you let it just rip against you, this is what could happen. So short, bang, out right there for flat. So AMD still holding it down 6%, but I like today as a trade. So far, so good. So congratulations to everybody out there. Great trade there, Joe, and obviously Obie as well. So we'll be back at 2 p.m., but thanks for sharing the air with me there, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, wow.
I definitely resonate with that, man. Your trading has been getting so much more better. I've seen the improvement in your trading for sure, man. So great stuff. Good work there and as well. I know, Joe, for a fact. Again, you're grinding on those weekends. You're rewatching some of those tapes. You're really kind of putting in the effort, and it definitely shows, right? It definitely shows.
What is done in the dark eventually comes to light. Hopefully, there,
sure.
Obie, man.
Like You know what's funny? It's just like it's just the same kind of concept where people are like, oh, you know, it's like overnight success. No one really sees all of those hard-working hours, and it's just like by the time it comes into fruition and it's big enough that, you know, the world can see. It's obviously like everyone's like, okay, you know, it happened overnight. But yeah, no, that's straight facts. Nobody knows the struggles and the hardships and you know, the blood, sweat, and tears literally that go into the grind when it comes to trading, for sure. I mean, there's been times where I'm just sitting there being like, okay, well, you know, you have some red day streaks, and you really start questioning yourself. You're just like, oh, do I even know how to trade? Did I forget? And then you're just like, no, take a deep breath, go back to basics. You know, it's funny, but yeah, definitely a journey, and it's beautiful to see all of us coming along really, really well. So
yeah, for sure. Even though Jose can't listen to that guy's leveled up.
Jose is
he's gone next level.
He's
man.
algorithmically better.
Yeah. He's so, like he's leveled. When I say level up, like we're talking leveled up. Yeah. I mean, what I was gonna bring out here, nice short. I think. All right, let's head over to Adara.
Keep an eye here on META. I'm just seeing that apparently senators are seeking out a probe of Meta over scams on its platforms. Its platforms, of course, include WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Again, I'm seeing reports that U.S. senators, specifically Blumenthal and Hawley, are asking the FTC and the SEC to investigate Meta, accusing them of ignoring widespread scams and actually saying that they're profiting from the defrauding of consumers. So interesting stuff. If I have more info, I'll keep you posted. Back to Joby.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I just wanted to mention here, guys, I got to look to start setting up some writings here once again as Bitcoin's continuing to climb. But I mean, we go from a low of around $48.90, and then you climb up almost to $50, and then you start to reject. And my contracts didn't move; it's still substantially red. So yeah, that is not a recipe for something good. Again, we're just sitting in. We got plenty of time until May. Halfway through the month of May, but I would like to get out of the position if I could at some point break even. I'll continuously write some calls there. Yeah, that's working out, Katina, man. Nice call out on that specific trade there. It's looking pretty good. NVDA with a nice short signal as well. So yeah, across the board. But as for my IBIT position, negative 6 bandos, which is not very, very good, but I mean, we've made probably approximately 30% of that I've made back in just writing calls. It's just that the long position has just been getting absolutely headshot. So that is not fun whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, there it goes, man. Hopefully these shorts eventually come into play. I'm going to be a little bit more patient. We had that SMR trade on. We tried a couple attempts on the Palantir shorts as it's continuously grinding. Bitcoin's really moving to the downside. If you're looking for a weak asset, you know where to look. Katina Man found it. As it's starting to flush, Bitcoin holders getting absolutely rinsed. It's a rinse job right now. But Meta still on the grind higher up to 631 and looking like it still wants to go, Obie. The Q's in the SPY. Doesn't look like it wants to turn around either, my friend.
I mean, yeah, definitely pushing a little bit higher. But again, I'm going to reiterate this 25K area. We kind of magnet right back into it, and we're holding, sustaining. And when I'm looking at some of these megs, yeah, that 229 area on Amazon still kind of consolidating within these highs. So I am watching it. We did travel all the way back up to 230s, but now still kind of sideways here. Pretty strong. I guess one of the stronger ones on the day is definitely Amazon. And let's see what else is kind of extended here. Sure, Tesla's a little extended, but relative strength not really, as it's still trading in and around some of its pre-market high levels here. Let's see, what else do we got? Nvidia as well. Yeah, I like that look on Nvidia. Nvidia kind of coming in and knocking on the door of prior days lows. Let's see. Again, only about $50 away from that 25K mark here on the Nasdaq, and we've gotten back-to-back jacks when it comes to green candles here on the 15-minute chart. We talked about this kind of ranging trend. Well, that range trend, I guess, broke out and we got accelerated buying all the way to the upside here into 25K. So now the question becomes, do we get a little bit of relief? I'm looking at prior bar low on the Nasdaq here, and that's sitting just shy of 24,990s as of right now. So as Google kind of consolidates sideways and does absolutely bupkis, to take a word from Sharif there. Yeah, let's see what we have in store in and around this 25K. There's a little bit of a pullback here. So engulfing, this is the first time a 15-minute candle. I guess this one did it as well. This one engulfed and then went red to green. Interesting stuff. Let's see, 321s here on Google, 230s still well within range on Amazon as well, man. So let me know what you guys are trading. Let me pull up the chat here as well. I got so many screens kind of coming in. Todd, MeFly Todd, I guess, is saying short in the chat there. James Choi saying short SPY into the close. Okay, interesting stuff. I like it. I like the idea. Prior bar low break on the 15-minute on SPY as well, potentially coming in. Hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened yet, but potentially coming in. We'll wait and see if that comes into fruition. What do you got going?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, man. Katina Man got the short on IBIT. I'm seeing some topping signals here on NVDA, but it doesn't want to give up the gap right now. So that's all right. Again, the long's working for us. Short's not. So we should just be sticking to our guns. And I'm shorting like the best name on the planet right now, which isn't a recipe for success. So we'll hold it off. If it breaches the high of the day, you can see that we're in right at 76s roughly. If it breaks up to 50s, I'll give it 50 cents or so, and then we'll dock an L and wait for things to turn around. I'm not going to be buying all the way up here either, but if the market just wants to grind and post up and just kind of move sideways, then there's not much really I can do. I'm glad that short's working out for you. Way to pick a weaker asset there, Sean. But other than that, let's sit on our hands a little bit here. VWAP would be a dream, Obie, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case today. I didn't think we were going to continue this grind in which we're experiencing right now, bounce off of 170 in NVDA, and then it's like, yeah, who do you guys think you are thinking you're shorting? Me? Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, there it is. SMR definitely going to be our best one of the session. Palantir and the 2 TSLL losses have put me slightly red, but again, we're just like a fraction of a hair away of just turning things around. One green trade, and we're back into this battle. Shout out to, who was it yesterday? Somebody and I were just saying, yeah, we're so back. And I can't wait for that to happen there in Bitcoin and grind a little bit higher, so I could just be like, we're so back, and get out of that, and then just get on with the merry way, run some algo, and continuously do what we're doing there. But Joe, Leroy, what's up? Ford GM, is it done? I've been long for 3 months. Damn. All right. Well, I've been in the bar. I've been long Bitcoin for about a month now as well too. So let's pull it up. We're going to start with Ford Motors. I don't know your average price. You didn't put anything in there that would give me a little bit more detail, but I don't see anything done from this standpoint. Let's go back 3 months from now, November, October, August. We'll go to July, or we'll head over to June. You're not doing too bad. You get 33% right there on Ford Motors, so not too bad. We'll head over to GM. If you've been in this for 3 months, you're cooking up an absolute storm, my friend. What are you talking about? Keep holding that, trim a little. There's nothing wrong with taking profit, as Neil and a bunch of individuals like to say. No one's gone broke taking profit. So there it is, some nice moves in Ford and GM. Still sitting in this NVDA short to see if we can get a breakdown, and there it goes. Support levels need to crack. You can see that we have a little bit of a shelf right here that's holding up as support prior resistance. So you're kind of getting that over-under type look right now, and it's holding up pretty good. But I would love a target of 175.30s. That'd be the dream, Obie. Well, it wouldn't be the dream. The dream would be the volume-weighted average price with like 30 million shares or something like that. But I don't think I'm going to be able to put on 30 million shares and hold that to VWAP, brother.
Yeah, I hope, one day maybe if liquidity dictates, then then yeah, definitely 30 million shares. It's crazy. I think in order to be able to trade 30 million shares, something probably has to be doing. I would say over $1 billion.
Yeah,
exactly.
I got a little ahead of myself there. There's no questioning that.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, no, in ideal scenario, yeah, you want to have unlimited liquidity. We've seen trades like that happen. BYND was kind of like that. Almost, well, pretty much any kind of liquidity that you would want to take, you could have just hit that book with that size there. But yeah, no, trades like that show up every now and then, man. I like that idea on Nvidia, the potential short there as the market starts to slow down here in and around this 25K. Yeah, coming into the close of 1 o'clock, I guess the hourly candle here, market very, very strong. Coming into the hourly close. So maybe that's the selling, the hourly candle top wick maybe is what's happening right now here, Joe. But I'm being patient, I'm waiting. Let's see if we can get back below 25K, and that'll definitely help out that Nvidia short as well, as that looks to curl a little bit lower as of right now. So that's what I got going on. Still kind of holding on to this Google as it chops around. Again, looking less and less, I guess it's looking more and more bad for me, I guess, as we kind of creep up into this 322 as the market just kind of consolidates and holds. So maybe not the best idea, but you know, it is what it is. Willing to lose
still in that,
on this
still in that goggles right there?
Yes, sir. What do you
goggles? Goggles. I was gonna say something, but I forget what it was. So that therefore it is irrelevant. But let's go. I want to add some more size here on NVDA. I got small potatoes on that one. Oh, 322.05 on goggles there, Obie. All right, I see you. All right, so there we go, slowly starting to move lower, breaking through that prior resistance that was acting as support. Now the momentum to the downside is finally working. All right, so now that we've pushed through that, I'm gonna wait for this breath back up, and then I think I'm going to add a couple more shares, just telling you my game plan out loud. I got $60 in my bank account, chat says big slush. All right, if you're leading to like, what should I put it on after this? That I cannot help you with, my friend, but 60, I mean, it's better than 0, right? 60 times off of that specific level. And there goes NVDA to the downside, Obie, as that's starting to work right there at 176 short. And then now we're starting to come back in a little bit here, guys. So yeah, not too bad of a look whatsoever. Google working out for, no, it's not. It's going oppo the market right now.
Yeah, man, this is, it's kind of doing its
own thing. It's doing its thing. But yeah, let's go NVDA to the downside. I would love to hit this 175 as a target, but I also want to add some more shares at the retest of that 176 level. And then we'll just sit in it until it breaks the high. I do have to give it approximately 50 cents or so, so I have to be prepared to put on that loss. There goes IBIT, yes. 49.98 was the high, guys, and what haven't we done? Oh yeah? Whoa, top ticker. We need a let's go animation and a top ticker. All right, let's go. Maybe not that one. I was just coming up with things here. Aside from that, how did our Oklo trade go on the old algo? Let's head over to the 5-minute and see if we, let's go. Profitable, winner, chicken dinner on that one there, Obie. So we like that. Nice grab off of those lows. Oh, it's why okay, that's all right. Breathe, woosah. It's okay, man. There's gonna be a lot more. List of trades. Look at this bad boy over here. So a nice move right there. Some nice back-to-back days. November 21st. Let's take a look at what this one was. Right off of those lows on OKLO. Everything okay over here on the D-low, but there it is. A nice hammer candle off those prints. You do get stopped out a couple of times. As you can see, it was triggered on multiple occasions, but the previous 2 trades putting up some fantastic numeros right there. So nice hammer candle off of the low, bang, we take it at the break of the high, and then sure enough, it takes that profit target over there, and then sure enough, here today, it grabs that as well too. So a nice look on that one. Oh, there was my reload opportunity, I think, potentially on NVDA. Let's get involved a little bit more. I mean, shooters got to shoot, so let's see if we can get that working for us today, Obie.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys are up to here in the chat. Going into that strength, here comes some selling back into that 25K mark here on the Nasdaq. Let's see. Let's see if there's any sort of pullbacks here. This 15-minute candle, only about 3 minutes left to finish printing on this 15-minute candle. So yeah, market reversion maybe. I like that you're involved in the Nvidia as well. Those TQs coming in maybe potentially as well here. But Amazon still showing strength. Google still kind of attempting to break out. It did break out of that 322. VWAP's right here, just 323 and some change as of right now. We're kind of bidding up into that level as well. So we broke out of that consolidate. So downtrend break. So the reversion on Google is coming in pretty nicely, and I'm on the wrong side of the move here as well. So a bit of a blunder on my part, but softy, prior bar low on the 15-minute. Apple also coming back in. That was a supply zone on Apple. Let's see if Amazon can give us a bit of selling here as well underneath this 230. That's where sellers were pretty dominant as well in the I guess earlier session. I wouldn't say morning session, but earlier session coming into 12 o'clock. Definitely some sellers coming in at that 230 mark here on Amazon. Here's that 25K knocking on the door on the Nasdaq, and 2 minutes left to finish printing this 15-minute candle. Let's see if we break the prior bar low as well. I'm watching that. It's still within range, right? That's sitting just at 24,990s-ish, in and around that area, and we're trading in and around there as well. So let's see if that can bring in some selling as of right now. Maybe Google, the one holding up this market with this curl after all day, just like kind of consolidating in that $2 range right now. So yeah, don't forget, Google is one of the top constituents, almost 6% of the total market right there. I like that your short is coming in real nice.
Oh, what a clean flush to the downside, just like that. A nice move in NVDA, being patient, looking at those indecision prints off of those highs, lost poils. Gaurav, what's up? Where's Jag been, guys? I haven't seen you guys. Yes, watching NVIDIA, I get going. Oh boy, yes sir is right. But I think we got to keep an eye out on this 175 level as we're continuously starting to head a little bit lower there, Katina, man. Wow. You're short IBIT. The boy is short 176 there in NVDA within a little bit of an ad right there to put on some more size. I talked about it. I'm like, hey man, let's get a pullback retest of that specific level. That's going to be our good to go if it holds up. And then we add, and then we're starting to bleed in NVDA. Let's see if we can get that down to 175, and then we'll look to piece a little bit up. Because I did average down, my it's first in, first out, right? So my average price will now go to 175.81s. But see, this just gets bought right back up. Strong leg bull, strong leg bull. Exactly. So bang, nice short there. It says my boy Gaurav. Yeah.
Breakdown.
Hey, there it is. Let's see what everyone else is looking at on the day. Oh, but one thing that we didn't take a look at was the options chain. Hello. That's what I was meaning to get at over here, and we'll take a look at some key levels. What is the high of the day on NVDA? 176. Let's see if there's anything correlating with that $175 strike price on NVDA. And sure enough, look at the volume put in at that specific level, Obie. 167,000 contracts traded already on today's session. So that's a substantial volume right there with 7,130 still currently open. But what we got to keep an eye out on, my brother, is that supply zone at 190 big supply zone. And then if we go $10 higher, we got even a larger one with 153,000 contracts still currently open. We're going to look for those to roll over to next week's, so the December 5th expiration, and we're going to see what we got going on. 32,800 right now, and then at that 175 level, 31,000, only 35,000 traded. But as for the Google activity, Obie, I had to go down the expiration cycle to find something interesting. And this is on this December 19th expiration cycle is where a lot of the concentration of OI and the volume is going to be played at. So not too much going on aside from this specific strike price, 330. What was the high of the day today on Google, may you ask? 332.87 and 332.5 right there. So I think this is going to be our supply zone. Let's see if the big boys want to push price below $330.
Yeah, exactly. I think that
It is already down
320 could be interesting as well. 330 was interesting this morning. Yeah, that 25K just knocking on the door once again. So we are trading below it now. We got a little below it. So this is the next 15-minute candle with about 13 minutes left to finish printing here. And I'm seeing some prior bar breaks happen, but again, got to be wary. This market's been strong. This is the first sign of sellers after multiples of 15-minute candles there. Let's see if we get any sort of distinct continuation, or it could just not be the case and buyers step right back in. So being wary of that information here as we trade a little bit higher going into the end of the day here. So I'm curious to know, how many of you were pretty much net long today? How many of you were net short? And what did you guys trade specifically in those directions? So I'm kind of watching this, watching the chat as well, along with the book, and just waiting and seeing if there is any sort of an interesting opportunity. I like the shorts, man, and I think you're in one of the best shorts as well in this market. You guys on the Nvidia, what do you call? Pullback there off of, what was the high there? 76s, 176s. So yeah, nice. Good stuff there, getting involved. And getting involved on the first sign of selling as well. You had that sell signal, right? You had that sell signal, and that came in really nicely. So good job on that. Yeah, Google's still kind of holding in and around this area. Remember, I was like that $2 chop zone. Yeah, still holding in and around here. The Nasdaq still holding as well. So we've got to wait to see on this 15-minute close to see if there's any sort of continuation of those sellers. Going into the last couple of hours of the day, yeah, definitely can be interesting if we start to kind of revert some of the move. We've seen in this market pretty choppy, right? We have strong legs going both ways, and some days can be very, very consolidative, but those legs are very extensive. So I think that's definitely something to keep in mind and watch out for. What do you got going on?
Yeah, same thing. Oh man, this is not what we want to see. Right after that selling, it's just a nice strong candle, and sure enough, you buy right back up. So let's see if we can reject this, and then sure enough, the volume coming right back in there, guys. So. We didn't take any profit up. We were holding for 175s, and then what the PA is telling me is that we might not get that this morning, but Bitcoin was definitely the short. Man, oh, Katina, man. Oh, you guy. All right, sports and stonks. Ice hands aren't soft, but yeah, there it goes. Nvidia bidding right back up. Adara, what do you got for us?
We just got the 5-year auction. I just want to mention here quickly. So the high yield prior to the auction came in here at 3.557%. As of the auction here, 3.562%. So auction high yield slightly higher than the high yield we were seeing before that 5-year note auction. Back to Joe and Obie.
Yeah, so there it is, guys. So just got to listen to what price is telling us. That indecision print right there off the lows. I have no issue with getting out. Let's see if we can hold up this. If we breach this 175.96 level, then I'll just get out for a small loss, because you can see the average is around 175.89. So it's just a couple of pennies at that point. I have no issues with getting out of the trade and then reassessing the situation to see if we can get involved once again. This could just be an additional breath, absorbing a little bit more liquidity. If it does hold up that specific level, then I'll add actually for that break into 175, and that way I'll have some more size, and then I'll be more happy with the profits that I'm willing to take there. So come on, let's go 1 minute time frame. Give us something here. If we close as this inverted, okay. All right, we're off to let's take a look at this chart here, because we can see the genuine wicks and everything along those lines. If this holds up, I'm going to add, guys, and if it doesn't, then we might have to get out of that trade I mentioned before. We'll get out at the break of this level around 96s. But if this holds up just like it is currently right now, Obie, I like our chances of heading back towards this low of the day. It's definitely harder. It's not going with the flow necessarily right now, so that's what I got going on. If we breach, then out 175.96, and then there it goes. Yeah, it did break. So strong name. We didn't take advantage of that flush down, looking for a little bit more. But it is what it is, Obie. What do you got?
Yes, sir. Things could get pretty kind of spicy here. Look at that selling coming in on Amazon, man. Distinct selling, strong volume. I don't know if there's something going on there on Amazon, but aggressive volume coming in here with some strong selling on Amazon. And yeah, Google coming back into maybe potentially its ranges as well. But that selling on Amazon is definitely interesting to me. Look at this. 25K, kind of, you're seeing it getting knocked around there as of right now on the Nasdaq. So let's see if we can get the Nasdaq to Nascrack as well, that level, and maybe some supply steps back in. Amazon's looking kind of weak there. 230 couldn't really go through. We've made multiple attempts at that 230, and I think there's something potentially going on.
I was going to say, I don't have any news on Amazon, decent amount of social media attention, but nothing news related. If that changes, I'll keep you all posted.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. No. Okay. So I guess nothing really news related. Some strong selling coming in.
Derek.
Maybe Long's just getting a little tired for that 230 not to come in, and the market's also turning. So maybe some aggressive selling, being wary of some of this market action happening right now across the board there. So yeah, just waiting and watching. Could be interesting. SPY 15-minute prior bar broke on the last 15-minute, and this one looks pretty bearish as well, as only about 7.5 minutes left to finish printing on this candle. So yeah, I'm just watching this Google here, man. Got involved a little too early, but got involved once again. Let's see if it will come into fruition. Now I'm just looking for a potential push into the 320s. That could also not happen. We're just in no man's land here, so I know I'm kind of just cutting myself up a little bit here. Where's the next trade? Waiting and watching for a potential decent one here, but don't really see anything on radar. Like I said before, you guys are here in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because with the community and with thousands of eyes on the market, we can catch some of the moves that we might not be aware of. So I want to thank you guys for all of that as well. What do you got going on?
Yeah, same thing. I'm gonna let's see if it comes back there to the break even Obie. Then we'll just hop out of that trade literally flat. So there it goes. I'm gonna hop out of this trade literally 189. I get out at 184s. No issues about that, as the market just decided to grind back higher. If we come up here and fail to establish a new high of the day, I'll get right back in with no issues. Adair, what do you have?
Nothing new re Amazon as of right now, but I do want to talk about DuPont Demours. DD is the ticker here. Barron's calling this one a long idea. As you can see, we did get a little bit of a spike on this candle. Nothing too crazy. This one trading around $39. Not often day traded, but again, Barron's calling DD a long idea. So I guess, as always, do your due diligence on that as we send you over back to Joe and Obie.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. All right, I mean, I don't got anything right now, so I'm glad that we got out of that break even, guys. You can see it start to grind a little bit higher, so I'm glad that we avoided that at all costs. Otherwise, you get frustrated, right? So we don't want that happen. You do get that at approximately 70 cents, or almost to $1 right there. They didn't take anything, looking for that move into 175, so just trying to diamond hands that. But then as it came back against us, I'm like, yeah, let's get out of that one there. But Obie, other than that, what do you have?
Not much, man. I'm kind of just waiting for this 15-minute candle to close, right? The SPY again looking a little bit bearish there, and it seems like Google's just consolidating underneath VWAP there. I'm definitely looking like I'm going to be pretty wrong on this one. Apple still chopping sideways here as well. Nvidia. We did break that back below that 176, but trading right back above as well. So a little bit of a chop going into the final few hours of the day here. Just noticing that, yeah, like this reversion on Google was probably pretty nice as well. Buyers showing up in and around the same areas where they were this morning. But yeah, sometimes I'm just not in flow, not in the zone, and not making the best decisions. And today is a great example of that as of right now on this Google counter trend trade. But yeah, no, I think some of the things that I realized yesterday was that opportunities are definitely almost always there in the market. Now, do we always have eyes on? Probably not, and that INHD was the one that kind of pointed me towards that train of thought, because I was just like, I'm looking for reversions across the board on these large caps, but not really seeing anything too crazy. But there's definitely some reversions that were happening yesterday in the small cap world. So can't be looking at everything, but there's definitely almost always opportunities in this market. Thousands and thousands of stocks, over 5,000 easily, that are very, very tradable. So, it is what it is. Some misses, but try to get the best ones for sure.
Yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. So I'm going to just continuously look. We're failing to put in a new high right now, and price starting to curl over. So I think that could give us a nice signal to get involved once more. I want to get it back to these lower time frames. I think that could have been just an additional liquidity grab. So I'm okay with this. Squeeze one more time. Lots of indecision prints here. And then sure enough, yeah, so they're just blowing past all of them. This one coming into play. So this just tells you it's extremely strong, right, guys? So again, grinding higher. And then on the downtrend, you have this aggressive print. Same thing over here. You just want to find things that are correlating throughout the day. Nice print off the aggressive selling, moves back higher. You form that base and then sure enough consolidate and then you decide to rip again. So wait for those things to, wait for price to turn around and then we might be able to get involved. In the meantime, let's get over to our scanner and see what we got going on over there and we'll look at some of the names. So this is going to be our large cap. Top of the food chain right now is NVDA, up 207 million shares traded. Stocks L sitting in that second place, 75 million right there on the TQs. TSLL as well too. Google putting in some size, guys, so not too bad of a look. Tesla, what have you been up to? From a daily standpoint, guys, not too bad of a look whatsoever. You break through that neckline and absorb some more liquidity, and then sure enough, here you are off to the races once again. I thought this was going to be the push for this break of the pivot high around 476. Doesn't seem to be the case. Absorbed a little bit more. Whoever was trapped up there, they're like, all right, give me the money, and then sure enough, start to grab a little bit higher. AAPL, it's right back up towards that high, not too far off. And I mean, if we're talking about the chop, I was talking about iron condors not too long ago. And look what the market's been doing. We had our base formed south of this key level and then north of here. And within that range, we just been chopping around aggressively. So there it is, right? Like, so for all my options writers, there it is. The condor might be the way to go right now. Consider if you're having troubles finding those intraday trades directionally. That way you don't need to have a directional bias. Speaking of the devil, let's actually build one right now. We're gonna head over to the SPY and run some weeklies or something along those lines, just to have a little bit of fun. You're not gonna be collecting too much premium. So we'll head over to this December 1st expiration cycle. Let's head up our strategy builder right now. We'll build some strategies. Iron condors is what we're gonna be looking at specifically. And then let's start cooking up here, guys, at the end of the day. So we wanna actually switch this up. So we'll hit the bid first, obviously, because we want to be able to find a specific range. Now let's bring our chart over here as well so I can just see it on the side. You can check these levels for yourself because I can't have both up at the same time. So what is our high? 690. 690 is that high. You're not going to be collecting anything a week away, so we're going to have to go further in expiration. Let's head over to just into the new year. This is going to be substantially different. We like doing these things here. We're going to hit the iron condor once again and see if we can get that going. Okay, it just took off the additional leg. I like this second attempt here on the short in NVDA, so let's get involved with it one more time. We took a break-even stop, so that's a ball. I can't catch up, Phil. If my live, okay, there it goes, bang, full fill right there. How much size did I put on? I don't even know. I was just looking to hit something. All right, yeah, we like that. So back towards our condor building, we're gonna go with the high of around 690. You're collecting a lot of cash right now, so we're gonna sell that one, and we're gonna go 5 points higher to 695. It's a couple hundo right there, so that's not bad whatsoever, guys. A pretty good look. So we'll head over to our put side as well and take a look at the low. We're gonna put that around 650. 650, where are you? And there it is, $642. We're gonna send that down to 645. This is our protection. You're collecting another $100 right there, so that's a pretty good look. Let's take a look at our profile now as well too. And look at that, guys. That's not too bad from an options writing standpoint when you have a risk to reward ratio of 0.89. Right, so it's almost a 1-to-1. You're risking $264 to make $234. but that is leading all the way into expiration. If you stay within that range for a couple of weeks, then that's going to work relatively well with a 50% probability of profit. That's what I want to see, and I think that's going to be a pretty good opportunity and a solid trade, in my opinion. And we're going to take a look at it from an actual charting standpoint, and then essentially what the trade is saying is, hey, we don't believe that the SPY is going to go above 690, and we don't believe it's going to go below 650. And if it stays within that range, by the time of the new year, you get to collect per contract combination $250 approximately. I think that isn't a horrible bet, and I think that's the beauty of the manipulation within options contracts, Obie.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot to kind of wrap my head around when it comes to options, and I'm very thankful that I can always ask you for that, and the chat definitely as well. I'm sure you guys are thankful as well. Any sort of options questions, so hit that like and that subscribe because we're bringing it to you here first. And live. I think we're doing it live, right? Market's still kind of chopping around that 25K. So yeah, it seems like this might be a little bit of an area or a zone of interest here when it comes to the market. And you can see Amazon also pulling back pretty decently here as well, breaking that consolidation low. See if we get any sort of continuations. Still kind of chop. So we did kind of slow down in and around this area. So I like that. Just waiting and watching. Apple as well, kind of sideways consolidation, nothing too crazy happening in and around there. 323s potentially here on Google as it kind of winds up, man. This VWAP is in and around this area as well, and we've kind of slowly been creeping up into this higher highs and higher lows at the same time. So Amazon, I like this. I like this for a potential breakdown here, but I'm kind of waiting and watching. This aggressive selling is where this kind of first came in, and we've been getting some nice continuation of that action after that strong selling did come in as of right now. So interesting stuff here. Amazon, will you continue? I don't know. Softy's consolidating near its highs as of right now as well. So absolute strength on that one. Tesla's still holding that upper quartile, man. Still trading in and around that 420 mark on Tesla. So I don't know how those options are looking for those 420s, man. But I think you checked them yesterday, and they were pretty spicy yesterday as well. So maybe more of the same happening on a day like today. Middle of the week. It is a Tuesday. I think things get a little bit more interesting with some of those OPEX prices going into the later end of the week, right? But I don't know. You can probably elaborate a little bit more on that. Like it's like more options expire kind of on the Fridays, do they not?
Yeah. So if you're looking for 0 DTE in specific stocks, it's only Fridays. But as for the SPY and the Nasdaq, you can get 0 DTE every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Was that your question?
Yeah. That was
yeah. So yeah, I mean,
some of them have dailies and some of them are just weeklies, right?
Yeah. So SPX like futures, so SPX, the NQ, whatever it may be, and then also the SPY and the triple Qs only have are the only ones that have 0 DTE and 1 DTE aside from Fridays. So Friday you can classify as 0 DT, and then that's with actual stocks. Like if you're looking to trade 0 DT on Meta, NVDA, or any of the other name Tesla, you have to wait until Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. That's good to know. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
Let's see what else is happening here. Just kind of we haven't really broken down. We're just sideways consolidating here. Let me pull this up right here. What are you guys saying? Walmart to the moon. Saying, and Walmart all day. I guess you guys are trading some Walmart right now. I haven't really looked at Walmart that closely. Let's take a quick look at Walmart right after we get back from Madeira with some breaking news.
Keep an eye on Apple, or sorry, not Apple, ARM, which just spiked. Liz Clayman, who is a Fox business reporter, she just posted on X, gang, beware the herd mentality. I've been working this Meta Google AI chip story that slammed Nvidia, AMD, and ARM. Sources close to the situation tell me that the ARM sell-off is misguided. Google is, quote, a great customer of ARM, and apparently the new Google TPU chip will be using the ARM CPU. She's going to provide more update on her show at 3 p.m. So again, Liz Clayman of Fox Business, I guess looking to, get people excited about this 3 p.m. segment, saying that apparently ARM is a great, or Google is a great customer of ARM, the new Google TPU chip will be using ARM CPU. This is just a report from a Fox business reporter. If I get more info, I'll keep you all posted. But ARM did pop a bit on this. Back to you.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, there goes NVDA to the downside. Let's get this data edit off this candle here. Hopefully we can break the support level at 175 here. That's going to be the primary. Let's get this fixed up, 175, and there it is. So heading right back towards the lower end of this range. Let's see if this is going to be the move there. Are we going back to Adara there? Or no, okay, all right. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. We're down 3.6%, so a big time recovery. The market will not allow this guy to stay lower for long, that's for sure, as it continuously bounces off the support. And yeah, that's what we got going on. Tesla's starting to come back in a little bit here as well too. Finally, Google back up to the volume weighted average price, Obie. That's just been a grind, really, and yeah, I think that's what the narrative of today's session has definitely been. Regardless of the SMR trade, you can see that start to come back in as well too. So boom, steady uptrend right into the volume weighted average price, in which we took our last little bit out, and then now starting to come back in. But this is NYSE PA. It's just that the pullbacks are extremely shallow here. So this was, boom, if we pieced out a little bit right there, shoulda, coulda, woulda, that's what if history. Unfortunately, we don't do that. God, you sounds like VWAP is a true key. Yeah, I mean, it's the only one that I use. I know Neil and Sean, they have their moving averages on there and everything along those lines, but I just follow price and what VWAP is telling me. Other than that, I can't really complain. I think a lot of them would agree to the point that just the more involved you get in, and the deeper you get within your journey, you don't need all of those all these things on your chart. You don't want analysis paralysis, because that'd be like one thing telling you MACD crossover, all this and all that. That's just my opinion, anyways. I'm not one for all of that gibberish.
Yeah, for sure. I think okay, so I want to go back to Walmart, because I did say I was going to cover Walmart here as it pushes higher. A relative strength here on Walmart as it comes in pretty decently on the day. So yeah, coming in with the rest of the market. We saw a couple days ago where Walmart on their earnings kind of did not really care and held its own pretty well as we as we sold off. And this was last Thursday, and then Friday we get that bid. And then that bid on the market brings some selling back into Walmart here as well. So interesting stuff to say the least, but still holding within its range and absolute strength on a day like today. So post earnings reaction here on Walmart does look interesting. Thank you guys for pointing that out. So shout out for that move there. Interestingly enough, this Amazon is holding in and around this 229 as well, 230s as of right now. So absolute strength on that one there. Google right back at VWAP, man. So definitely very, very wrong on this one on the day. Are you still in anything there?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop out.
How's that Nvidia short?
It's not working, man. I don't think the shorts, the buy programs are on. I mean, we took 2 attempts on Palantir, that didn't work. We got a short move in NVDA, and then it just got bought right back up. So I'm like 20 cents right now OTM, which isn't good, and it looks like it just wants to continuously grind. So you don't want to force this. So if it's not going to be a short, what do you want to do? Try to look for those longs. But for me, it's harder to participate at the higher end of this table. So I'll be patient. If it stops me out, then so be it. But right now, it just seems to be like kind of a repeat of yesterday's session. Let's actually take a look at it. NVDA, I remember in the post market did take a little bit of a dive, but all day just trading within this range, you do get these moves, but leading right into the imbalances, buys right back up into the middle of this range. But as for the names like the Qs here, so yeah, let's get out of this NVDA trade. It's just not working. So we'll take a small haircut on that, small potatoes. But same thing as yesterday, right? Like, so you have the initial choppery, or sorry, yeah, in the pre-market you have this chop, and then sure enough up here it's just steady, and then it never gives up anything right now. And I think that's going to be the case. It was just absorbing, trapping a bunch of shorts, and then since approximately 11 o'clock this morning, it's just been steady up and to the right. So you just kind of want to go with that flow. Unfortunately, again, we're still only one trade away from going green. SMR being the best one of the day. We'll do a quick trade review one more time here at 175. So we go one break even on NVDA. That didn't work out, and then we take a small loss on it. Let's get these dark pools off here for you guys. So small loss right there, or small loss right here. Break-even trade as it came in. It was a couple pennies in the money. And then as for TSLL, we go 0 for 2 on that one. And Katina Man flipped there. So he was long all morning, and then eventually he gets that nice strong move to the top side. You're now up approximately 2.2%, so a fifth of a percent there, right here, and that's steady to the top side. But again, try what long didn't work. And I'm like, oh, okay, if it's not a long, we rejected VWAP, see some indecision prints. Let's get involved with the short. But as you can see, it bounced off of some key support levels, came back towards, and then that's when I was like, all right, let's get out of here. Comes back in, and then after that point, it was a steady grind. And then SMR was most definitely our best trade of the session, which is definitely keeping us afloat here. And this is what we want to see, some nice steady stuff. Just have to put substantially more size on this one. I mean, I was in a third of a size this morning, in which I was on RGTI yesterday, about 35% of the total position value in which I had on yesterday, which is okay. But yeah, SMR definitely the one to go. And IBIT still bleeding, so Katina Man picking the right names to short. That is for sure, brother.
Nice, great shorts there on the Bitcoin. And something that hasn't really been a short continues to do more of the same here. ANF, straight rocket to the upside here, 88.83. This is just a grinding bid, and look how tight this is, Joe. This is very unnatural, just a strong, steady bid. There's definitely a little bit of a buyer here on ANF, and now this thing is interestingly enough, in the past, it's been, if you know anything about ANF and that crazy bid that it had, was it for weeks and weeks on end? This is the one I'm talking about.
That's
right
crazy.
here. Take a look at this. So in 2023 is when this bid kind of started here, and just back-to-back weeks and months of straight bidding, all the way from about $30 all the way up to about 200. We hit a high of 196.99, and we're getting some strong bidding here from this range low on a day like today, where we got some earnings as well. What do you got for us?
All right, guys, with just one stock, 3D Capital, you get exposure to 60+ early stage plays in AI, blockchain, and biotech, and more, led by a CEO whose last deal returned 150x. 3D trades under IDK on the CSE and IDKFF in the US. Subscribe to their YouTube channel for exclusive interviews and deep dives, and you can win $1,000. This is your ETF for early stage innovation. Yeah, let's take a look at this name here. Let's see what's under NYSE here in the US, IDKFF. Maybe take a look at what we got. IDKFF. 3D Capital. Okay, so I mean, we run into liquidity issues at that point. It's about a penny or so. Let's head over to the daily and see what we going on. I mean, if you're getting in at the lows, what's $1,000? How many shares that get you? That'd be nice. You get a nice little pop on that one. 10 times will get you to 5 cents, or no, 50 cents roughly, a little bit more. So not too bad whatsoever. That could be a good play there, Obie, I think, potentially. So IDKFF, I want to see if we can find anything from a holding standpoint on this as well, too, to see, because I'm slightly intrigued on IDKFF. So we're going to pull up on our nice little trusty tool here. IDKFF. Oh, no, we don't have it there, so that's all right. Oh, well, that was short-lived. Aside from that, guys, let's try to find a potential trade. See, there it goes. NVDA continuously grinding back towards the highs. We went through our volume scan earlier, so that's not too bad of a look. And good thing we got out as it continues to grind higher and higher. IBIT, is that thing still selling, Katina, man? Let's take a look as we see 5-minute. Yeah, I mean, now down to 49.66. Not a horrible play over there. And then what has our good friend Oklo been up to? OKLO, as it had a nice indecision print off of the 5-minute low. Aggressive waterfall price action out of the gate. So there it is, boom, nice grind, and still holding up around those specific levels. I think aside from a steady up, and you want it to be in nice and early. So if you have been, then you've just been riding this trend all day. Jeff, what's up, Jeff? If you took my trade, you'd be up $1 already, brother. Oh yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, if I took a lot of trades that I didn't, who knows what would have
You have $1
happened.
million.
Yeah, exactly. $1 billion. But other than that, Obie, you're still in that. Oh, you're out of the Google? You got out of that one?
Yeah, I got out. It came right back into VWAP. I'm like, I know I'm wrong there, so I'm just going to let it kind of come in and let me know that I'm wrong there. It kind of continuing to blast up. So yeah, I was definitely very, very incorrect on that. So Google, if you look at a 30-minute chart as well, you can see here, as soon as that buying kind of stepped in, we broke out. That was pretty much it there. Now you see it's doing that hammer candle as well in and around here, bouncing off of prior day's ranges. So yeah, held against me a little too far. So that did not work out as well as I was looking for. Relative weakness, yes, on the day, but that bid does step in going into the end of the day on Google off of prior day's range highs. So a bit of a miss on my part. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking now. Microsoft still holding its own here. It's very, very strong. Look at this consolidation near the highs. So beautiful reversion here that pretty much held its own for the past, I guess, what is it, about an hour or so on Softy, just consolidating in and around prior day's high. Not only is this prior day's high, it seems like there was some interesting action here on Friday as well. Some prior, I guess, resistances just showing up and continuing to hold as resistance here on Softy in and around that 477 area. If it holds today, that would be the third day in a row that we hold 477 area as the highs on Microsoft. Now, something I do want to point out was something I was talking about yesterday on Softy, a bigger picture breakdown that happened through this 490 area. So we'll just go up to a 3-hour chart, something higher time frame, just to give us a better perspective. And look at that, more continuation was happening off of the open today, but a bit of a reversion as well as we trade all the way back through 465s. But bigger picture, I'm still looking at this as a downtrend and has not broken this specific downtrend here on Softy just yet. But it's, I guess, definitely trading I guess the price action is panning out, right? Breakdown, continuation, step, continuation. Now this is the next step that's forming here, maybe in and around prior levels. You can see here, even though we had that slow, steady grind up, there are some consolidations in that slow, steady grind up that do stand out, that were pretty much sideways for a little bit and then had aggressive break with volume as well. So this is the area that we're trading in and around today, 470s and some change. So day lows, about $5 lower to 464.89s, and then beautiful over $10 reversion on Microsoft off of those lows there as well. So Tesla, another one that kind of reverted, but trading within its range here. Again, this is a 3-hour chart here, bit of a double topping action, similar, I would say similar, not exactly the same. Microsoft is a lot more exhaustive at its double tops, or looks a lot more exhaustive at its double tops. But yeah, it's Tesla kind of exhibiting a similar kind of action here with its consolidation. You can see here, supply was here before as well, 488.50s, and we are seeing some supply here, 479, so just shy of 480s here on Tesla. That's just bigger picture stuff. Let's see what else we got going on. I had some, in-play names. In terms of in-play names in the morning session today, I had Kohl's KSS, which has been working pretty well. And market tailwind is definitely on your side here if you've been long on Kohl's. Holding VWAP above VWAP throughout the middle of the day, but right off of the open, that VWAP hold was very, very distinct. Comes in confluence with that $20 level as well. And then ANF, of course, we've been talking about this one. Absolute strength. Similar story, holding VWAP in the morning session and then extending away from it as the day goes on. When this buyer is done, I'm definitely going to be interested in kind of watching that and watching and waiting to see if that comes into fruition for a potential reversion. But I don't think it's going to get all the way back down to VWAP. That's all the way down at 82s. We're hitting the flush there. What's happening there? Google at VWAP, yeah, nice short on Google at VWAP, kind of coming back into this prior consolidation area. So nice trade there. Hopefully that one works out well for you, Sean. Let's see what else we have going on here. 675s knocking on the door on the spider. So slowly climbing up that spout all day long after kind of chopping up that 666 in the morning session. 664 halves is the day low, and then look at that wick action down in the 666s, and then reclaim VWAP, step on top of some of that range highs for a nice push a little bit higher as of right now. Apparently, we have a bit of a super chat. All right, so SP Williams, thank you very much for the super chat. When are we going to get some scrap again? Small caps rocking and popping. Nice.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna have to wait for Sharif for that one. He's gonna be back next week.
Friday, half a day, I think.
Sorry, yeah, he's back.
Friday,
He's back on Friday, and you'll definitely see him there. So a couple more days, and the small cap action is back. But yeah, no, you know what? Honestly, let's go through some small caps and see what kind of action they've been doing. So let me know. We can just go to the volume leaders as of right now and see what is on the roster when it comes to volume leaders. I'm sure we're gonna find some small caps in here. Here we go, right off the bat. SETI, Clean Energy Technologies. Well, this action was definitely not clean through that high. Wow, look at that wick shimmy action, but clean was VWAP after the reclaim, as you know, you can see that pullback, nice little push. Not really watching this stuff that closely, but you know, price action is price action. The thing about this stuff is like you can have crazy aggressive candles in like this, and you got to be real fast and astute, especially if you are holding and in a position. So SETI, Clean Energy Technologies, not so clean of price action. There you go. People talking about SETI there. I think this breakout was nice. I guess this breakout as well, VWAP reclaim, maybe in the morning session as well, some reversions potentially happening as volume starts to dissipate from the buying. Let's see what else we got. ONDS, that's definitely not a small cap. That's a 3 billion cap there, but definitely doing some decent volume on the day. Not really average daily volume just yet though. AEHL, NUAI. So I see you guys in the chat. Here we go. Here's a small cap, $11 million of a market cap here on this one. Okay, that's an interesting reversion here, 230s all the way to VWAP $3. So yeah, you can see here. I mean, price action's price action. I've said this before. It doesn't matter whether it's on a large cap or a small cap. It's kind of it's liquidity. It's more like liquidity float and some of those other factors that make a big difference on some of these here as well. But they definitely do volume, and the float is definitely being churned. BBAI. Okay, that doesn't really look that attractive there as well. So people in the chat talking about NUAI as well, New Era Energy. Let's see this one. This is not necessarily a small cap, guys. $243 million market cap. Nothing too crazy there. That is not necessarily a small cap in my books. But yeah, those are some of the small caps that are running. Keep it up in the chat. Let me know what other small caps that are running. We'll be right back from Madera.
AZN is going to be on watch. AstraZeneca announcing that their Imfinzi combination has won U.S. approval for gastric cancer. So again, AZN getting approval here in the U.S. for its gastric cancer treatment. Imfinzi not moving too much, but just in case there's a delayed reaction, guys, just so you guys know, AZN getting that U.S. gastric cancer treatment approval. Back to you two.
Yeah, everything's flushing, man. Casino with that pinpoint entry now, 322.92 on that Google short. Sniper. So there it is, 176.40. Again, they're starting to come back in. So just a double top right here on NVDA. And then as a tough to grab, I thought that we were going to be sitting on some good risk to reward here with about 50 cents or so. Seems to be the case. But let's take a look at Bloom Energy. I did, brother. Trav, man, my boy, I did. Bloom Energy. This was actually on my radar as well, too. Let's take a look at it from a daily. Why? Oh, I wonder. I wonder, and that's going to be this specific print with that isolated volume candle right there. So Bloom Energy might be in play for a potential swing. So there it is. Like, look at NVDA just get bought right back up, man. So I'm glad that we're going to be avoiding this. It's just one of those sessions where there is no sellers in sight just yet. Maybe you have to wait until 2:30, 3 o'clock for you to get a little bit more of an extended move. But what we're experiencing right now is saying buy the dip, and sure enough, let's take a look from a percentage metric on the Qs, how much we were down from the peak to this current trough, 9%. And they're like, what do you think this is? We're spending all this money. The mega caps are extremely strong. Let's cut that in half. 50% haircut. You're now only down 5% off of those highs. Is this going to be the start of the Christmas rally? Anything that I would love to rally. Okay, Obie.
Yo.
Let's do it this.
Okay.
If there could be one stock that could rally leading into Christmas, what would it be?
Google.
Google?
Yeah.
Okay, Google. All right, cool. Yeah, that was easy. All right, Santa Rally is on. Guys, if there is one stock that you are looking for to rally into the Christmas holiday, what stock would it be? Amazon says hang rewipe. I'm going to put mine in. Guys, also Meta, Google is expensive. That's fine. I remember it was a 23 PE not too long ago. Google is expensive. Amazon easy, Meta rally into Christmas. That would be a nice score of 100%. RGTI, guys, put that in the chat. Also, don't forget, we don't start at 8:30 anymore. We start at 8 a.m., so make sure that you get up nice and early and join us in the morning because there's going to be a lot of stuff. You got Brando and Adara this week currently sitting at the desk going to bring you all the macro news and data prints that will be coming out. Then you have Sean and Neil also giving you their rundown and what they're specifically looking at, their top list for the morning and potential trades. And then you get your boy, sure enough, coming in with some hot action with some analyst actions and some options activity as well too. But I like how everybody's putting the dollar signs in. See, did you guys not know that that was my little trick to get them to vote without them even knowing that they're going to vote, Obie? Oh my God, playing games within the games. Thank you for that, Asustino. But no, in all seriousness, that was a genuine question. It just happened to kill two birds with one stone on that one. I already put in IBIT, but if we can do two, I'm going to go these are my two. I don't even know my two, but I'm just going to throw in another one there, Obie, just for S and giggles. The mastermind, exactly. Megamind, sports and stocks. Yeah, Meta. But no, I hope everyone's having a good day. If you caught the trend and you were able to withstand the chop near the lows and then just ride this all the way to the top side, that's some good stuff. So can't complain about it. Our only losses today are to the short side. If we went long, Obie, we were right. But that doesn't seem to be the case right now. We got 18 minutes left. I'm going to be continuously looking for some trades. But whoever mentioned Bloom Energy, we were talking about that not too long ago. I like our chances for a nice bounce, maybe by the end of the week here in BE. Before I send it back to you, we'll take a look at it one more time. Don't tell me it's still bleeding, Katina, man. Get this guy out of here. Get this guy out of here. What a savage. But there it is, 23.79. And that's going to be the highest print since July of 2025, so a couple months right there, and the volume correlating within price. BE and Hood, I would like all of those. Short Google, 324.15, and it's now at 322.46. Only a matter of time until it's the dual dollar club. The dual dollar club. What do you got going on?
I'm just, okay, so you asked me a question. What's running up into December?
What would you like to run?
So right away, let's do a scan. Let's do a scan. Right away. Okay, I'm like, okay, we're looking for an uptrend. So you know what? Let me restart this. So I'm kind of just on. You can just do this on any sort of decent scanning software here. So. Let's see, uptrending, right? So we can just take a simple EMA. I have here a 21 daily EMA, and what are we looking for? We're looking for the EMA to be below the price. All right, so below the price here. So because if the EMA is below the price, we're likely to be uptrending. So right away, that gives us almost 6,000 symbols. I don't want that many. That's way too much. Let's kind of, I want a bigger market cap. I want liquidity. I want something to be, pretty decent right here. So we'll just go with, let's just go with a 50 billion. Okay, we'll go with a 50 billion right there. That's 5 billion. That's 50 billion. That's still 320 stocks. You know what? Let's just cut it. We'll go with 500 billion. Just give me the best of the best. 500 billion, 10 symbols on that list. All of these stocks uptrending and above their 21 moving average on the daily. So you can see here, right there, Apple, the strongest of the bunch, definitely holding there. Goog and Google, this was the other one. Again, that was my pick for a push, for a strong push. We've already started to accelerate through some of those levels. AVGO hasn't really broken out yet. Don't really like it. Berkshire, maybe potentially, but sideways range. I don't really like it that much. Berkshire A, shout out to anybody who day trades Berkshire A. But Lilly could be another one. Hey, yeah, Lilly definitely could be another one. Look at the absolute strength on this one. Right? These are all-time highs on Lilly, and it seems like it's not really stopping anytime soon. Above $1,000 there now. 1,100 is where we're trading at. Walmart, another one. I don't know. This one moves kind of like molasses. You have to give this one multiple years for it to kind of do anything meaningful. But you know what? If you like to park your money, I guess Walmart is a good place to go shopping. But JPM as well, I don't know. Still kind of sideways chop. See, right there, out of all these stocks, we had 6,000 stocks right here. Out of all of them, Google and Lilly are looking the best, and some of the strongest ones, I guess, in the market, above a $500 billion market cap. So that kind of narrowed our scan down. Very simple scan, right? We're looking for stuff that's uptrending. So we use a 21 EMA filter and make sure that price, that the EMA is below the price, right? The EMA is below the price, and then we're just like, all right, we just sort by market cap to kind of filter down some of the larger market cap constituents. So you know, definitely institutions and funds are getting involved in some of these as well for liquidity purposes and other things as well. So it seems like we did get a bit of a pullback, at least on Google. They're back down to 322s from that VWAP test. So didn't really get involved in it once again. But that 25K mark, man, still very, very interesting. Still holding, still holding around here. So it seems like we might be taking that bit of a bust up. But Lilly and Google, right away, just a general scan shows us that those are the two stocks in the market that are by far some of the strongest ones in the larger caps when it comes down to that. So I mean, we can also go the other way, right? We can say, give me the smallest caps, give me 50 million market cap and below, and take a look at this. So many stocks, 1,100. So right away, if I'm doing that, if I'm looking at stuff that's really a smaller market cap, I'm gonna do something here and be like, all right, let's just put a price filter. I don't want anything that's below $5. So right away, let me just say, let's say value above or equal $5 right there. So that definitely will narrow it down. That narrows it down to about 143 stocks. So now, see, this is sometimes what my weekend scans consist of. I'm just like, I have pre-built scans for higher time frame stuff. I'm like, all right, what's the stuff that's trending higher time frame? What's the stuff that's trending up, trending down? What's the stuff that's been kind of stuck in a range and maybe hitting the top of the range or hitting the bottom of the range, potentially looking for higher time frame breakouts as well. But right away, you can see here lots of stocks. Some of these prices absolutely crazy, but yeah, above $5 to say the least. So let's just go to the top name here and let's see. Give an example. See, this one doesn't even do that much volume, and it trades on the OTCs. So maybe that's something I don't want. I don't want something that's in the OTCs. But take a look at this, Orion Energy Systems. I don't know what this is, but nice little curl and strong back-to-back action on earnings. You can see post-split, we've been running up. So I have no idea what this name does, but maybe something I want to look into as we push this prior high of 16s and maybe fail to follow through as well. So don't have any idea what some of these companies do. But at the end of the day, I'm more sorting this stuff out based off of price action, market cap, and price. At the same time. So you can also, if you like your fundamentals, you can just be like, all right, well, all of those, which one of these are, cash negative, right? Which one of these are not performing well? And maybe you want to assess on those ones, do they have the ability to fix those issues? And if they have the ability to fix those issues that they currently have, maybe those are good investments. I don't know. What's going on, Adara?
Yeah, keep an eye here on HPE, Hewlett-Packard Enterprises. This one looks like it's going to get a contract here from the Defense Information Systems Agency. So again, company receiving a DISA deal valued at nearly $1 billion for data center modernization. So again, government deal HPE valued at nearly $1 billion. HPQ reports after the bell. Back to you.
Thanks for that. All right, guys. Yeah, we're taking a stab here on MSTR. Our risk is super tight on this one, but there's some signals on it that I'm liking. It's such a weak name. I did put some shares on, but at the end of the day, I can't give this one too much leeway. You can see it's just going oppo the complete market. Someone mentioned it in the chat, and I'm like, oh, hey, I like these prints off of the lows, so let's see if we can get anything rocking and rolling with MSTR. Oh, man, this is the strategy isn't going too well. Over here, it's not the best strategy right there. Obie down 70%, and looks like there's no stopping the bleeding anytime soon. So we'll keep an eye out on this. We'll sit in this. If it cracks the low of the day, then we'll just hop out of that one. No worries whatsoever. And what are we in, around 170.67? So yeah, we got to give it $1 to prove that we're incorrect. And I mean, VWAP would be the most ideal, but are things starting to slow down and pick up for MicroStrategy? Let's see here, man, because you're starting to get some of those indecision prints. There it goes, guys. All right, let's go MSTR. As we're slowly grinding. Interview Sailor on T. Yeah, I know, that would be wicked. That would be a really good time. Yeah, quick buck is fine, otherwise on a big downtrend. Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't be getting involved in this. I mean, listen, we're all in panic mode and everything right now, considering, and you got to think about the opposite side of the party as well, too. So whoever's selling, someone's buying it, whether it be the makers or whatever it is. So someone's getting MSTR at these lower prices, and who knows what can happen 6 to 12 months from now, right? They go, MicroStrategy's at $170, and then anything can happen in a year's time from now. This thing can be back up to $300 or something along those lines. I don't know if that's going to be necessarily the case. It all depends on Bitcoin. Yeah, tiny strategy. It's not too good. So yeah, I mean, you got to take into consideration Michael Saylor's earnings report was based off of essentially Bitcoin hitting 150K. That's a big part of the reason why I think that Max Saylor, it's getting smoked, and it's just not finding any form of a breath. So it is what it is on MicroStrategy. I don't think this trade's going to work, but I've seen the indecision prints off of the lows. I had to take a stab on it, Obie, just in case we did want to climb a little bit higher. But right now, we're approximately 50 cents OTM right now, brother.
Yes, sir. So yeah, no, something else that's climbing higher is Amazon finally above 230s now. So some strength there. You can see the market kind of catching a bit of a bid here as of right now. But something I do want to talk about, guys, is this is looking a little lackluster. We got how many people are watching right now? Where's the
up there, up a little bit,
up a little bit, up a little bit.
You see it right there,
right there. Boom, 4,463 of you watching as of right now, and only just shy of 600 likes. Come on, guys.
Gotta get that
gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Rookie.
We're almost done here. We only have about 8 minutes left. So if you had anything, if you had any sort of value, if you kind of you were entertained, you were educated, and you learned what to do, what not to do. I definitely learned. I mean, I didn't learn what not to do. I just knew I shouldn't necessarily be as aggressive as I should have been there, because that was the reversion back to VWAP. But again, hopefully, if you guys learned a thing or two, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and yeah, you know what? Hit it for the team there for sure. So 600, unacceptable. Come on.
Unacceptable. Yeah. I mean,
don't do that.
It's a little bit higher than
Joseph in the chat saying, "I just clicked 10 times." Nice. I don't know if that works.
It definitely doesn't work.
You know what? I'll click it as well. I just realized that I hadn't clicked it. Boom, right there. 596s. So let's do a refresh and see if that kind of comes in there. Where is it? 781. I think we can get to 1.5. 1.5. Whoa. I want to see the like counter run up just like this market has been running up, a slow, steady grind. That's what I'm looking for.
It's a nice steady grind, eh?
Where's the next trade? That's what I'm looking for.
I'm gonna refresh as well too, Obie. 1.5. I think that's a. Hey man, we want to shoot for the stars, right? Essentially, it doesn't cost you guys anything. And think about it. If you got gifted a membership today by our good friend Eddie, who gave over 100 memberships out today. Man, oh man. Bang, bang, bang. You have to hit the like after that. So once again, thank you very much, Eddie, for all of that stuff. We got approximately 6 minutes left here. And I'm going to say it one more time. 8 a.m. Be there or be square, guys. Be there or be square. Don't be sleeping. Don't be doing any of that garbage. You got to be up bright and early, participating with the morning show and getting all the information that is going to get your trading day started. And it helps you get in the zone as well, too. I think that's the biggest part. Obviously, running through the numbers, seeing what other traders are looking at, running through your morning scans, and then sure enough, what you can do and what I do at nighttime is just game plan, and then come back and execute. So if you haven't done that before, not one day, how about day one, and you can start bright and early tomorrow morning and get your analysis and your pre-market prep and get in that nice solid habit of being early and getting everything rocking and rolling for when you need it to be. And then sure enough, when the opportunities arise, you're prepared. You're not just half out of bed. You're not like just wiping the eye boogers out and all that stuff and rolling over and getting some coffee and then just scuffling over to your desk. No, get up, wake up early, do what you gotta do, come prepared and be prepared to execute. And then sure enough, you're gonna see a drastic change in your game. And I think that's something really important to note. Yeah, exactly, Grant, that too. I know a lot of people are most definitely doing that, but if you're doing that, that means you're not preparing relatively well. Come on, strategy, there it is. Back up to 65s. Let's see if we can get a breakthrough. We're acting as some key resistance. If we look at the tape here, guys, you can see that the flushes are consistent. So we'll head a little bit lower and where the defense is laying. So we did get a bounce back up to 60s, but then it gets flushed right back down immediately and right away, and then constant moves on the bid. So if we crack and hold 170, I'll just hop out of the trade. No worries. I am going against the grain on a weaker name, trying to get somewhat of a bounce, and strategy being down 80% off of the highs is not that guy. All right, what do you got, Obie?
All right, guys, guess what? Your heart will beat 100,000 times today, and every beat is a data point. AIML Innovations, that's AIML on the CSE and AIMLF on the OTCs. They turn that data into potentially life-saving insights with max yield. An AI engine that filters noise, labels each heartbeat with a lab-grade precision, and shrinks ECG analysis from days to minutes. What's their mission? It's to revolutionize how heart disease is detected, monitored, and prevented. Learn more at AIML.health and follow at AIML_Innova, that's INNOVA on X. So make sure to check them out. We got those details right there on the side of your screen. AIML Innovations Inc. $100,000, nice. 100,000 beats a day.
A day, yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Let's see what this market is doing. Market is doing absolutely chop, just beating around this 25,000 mark as of right now. So nothing too crazy. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm waiting and watching for. I guess VWAP on that Google was nice, but we kind of pulled back just a couple bucks and holding that 322 prior consolidation range high as a little bit of support as the market has reclaimed that 25K and holding and just chopping around there as well. So only about, I would say roughly about 2 hours left in the trading day. Hopefully you guys have had a solid time here on the midday show. We did have some decent, I guess some decent moves in the morning session. In the midday session, I guess you had this Amazon push that did come in all the way into the 230s. Nice consolidation. I guess you did technically have this Google reversion, which I did not participate in any sort of meaningful way. Mike DeRuyter in the chat, thank you very much for your super chat. Trader TV, #1, facts, Jack. Can't go a day without saying it. And that is a fact, Jack. Thank you, Mike DeRuyter. He doesn't have the P in there.
Oh yeah, he's got multiple accounts, man. You didn't know that. Yeah, Mike DeRuyter. You don't know which account you're gonna catch him on. He's preloading messages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got everything. He's ready to go. Gotta clean up, man. No partying on Sundays. That's the one key thing because everybody at this desk.
That's my cutoff. Party hard Friday, party hard Saturday maybe, but Sundays just for prep. So you know.
No more partying, man.
Yeah,
no more partying. You gotta hit the gym and play sports and do other things, man. No sports. Yeah, exactly. But other than that, guys, you know what time it is?
Okay.
It's 2 o'clock. We're still sitting in this MSTR trade.
Yes.
We're going to wait for that, but you're going to catch me over at the big desk with the rundown, guys. Make sure you get those dollar signs in. We're sitting around 900 likes. Before you head over to the next stream, just hit that like, and then when you head over to the next stream, also hit that like and subscribe as well, too, guys. Just asking for us all. We don't ask for much. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. It is Tuesday. One more full session before an American holiday and American Thanksgiving. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Peace out.
Take it easy, guys.
It's